The baby, let's go. Let's go. Skirt, skirt. Jane Paul lost. Who's Jane Paul? Who ate all my beans? No ate all your beans, it would appear. I've lost my soup munching. Are you guys speaking English? Mannequin with the first dono of the night. Thank you, Mannequin. Says, let's get it, boyos and girlos. That's what I like to hear. And thank you, Mannequin. Good to see you. Good to see everyone. Welcome back to another creamy streamy, where I read spooky stories and you guys get to hear me fuck up. Who said a bad word? Yep, I did. And you're going to jail for it, because it's actually not illegal to say bad words. It's illegal to hear them. They've changed the rules. Sorry, I'm getting my mic set up here. Good morning, afternoon, and evening all from Bubzilla. Thank you, Bub. How's Pradeep? Pradeep was good. He was chillaxing in this disaster zone I call my room for a little while, but he is he's exited the premises for the time being to go hunt. He's on the prowl out in the living room currently. I got him. So he eats dry food now, wet food. But it just sucks because it's like ever since I gave him wet food and now he's obsessed with it. I feel like that's like all he wants. You know what I mean? And he's kind of just like, I don't know. Like the other day, yeah, like the first time ever, he actually like smacked my leg and like cut my leg a little bit because he wanted his food. And I understand. I would do the same to my, to the people at Chipotle to make my shit. I'd do that to my waiter. I'd smack her leg. I'd, draw blood because I'm hungry. But it's just like, seems like he's got a taste for it now. There's no going back. Anthony Souza with the 5 says, I love your consistency. Thank you, Anthony. I'm trying my best. Trying my best, and I appreciate your dono. Thank you so much, my good friend. Joel, have you tried a elote before? Or is it elodie? I don't think I've heard of that at all. James Lee Jordan, what's good? Imagine donating and having a typo in it. Oh, that's all good. Sometimes you just get so stoked. Did you reach 315? I did not. For bench, if that's what you mean, bench, no. Bench is a slow process for me, honestly. I'm trusting the process, though. I'm going week by week, just doing it 1 week at a time. Which, whenever you watch, oh fuck, I can't even remember his name. He's like one of my favorite fitness dudes, and I can't even remember his gosh darn name. Let's see, it will pop up. Yeah, Eric Bugenhagen. And some of you guys might even be subscribers to Eric, but like, he has such, I don't know, I feel like he's actually been relatively cryptid with like his training regimen, but it seems as if though like he has let out little tidbits of information where like when he trains something, he like trains specifically that for like 6 straight weeks, you know, just not giving up on whatever he wants, and he just jumps up like 100 pounds in that short period of time. And to me, it kind of makes some sense. Like, if you do it enough, like, you're gonna see some major jumps, whereas if you just hit it once a week, you might see like minor movements and then suddenly hit a plateau. And he's very against that like methodology of lifting, which I can relate. Cody Nestor with a 5. Thank you, Cody. Let me know if you had a message you wanted to throw in there. Reading stories and stuff. But what does he mean by stuff? What do you guys think? What could I do? Like, I'll read some stories, but what do you think the stuff could be? Where do we go with that? He focuses on progressing in that one movement muscle. I totally agree with them, though. Like, I totally think, like say you made in 6 weeks, you made 100 pounds increase, right? Like, even if all of a sudden you moved on to, like, from bench onto squat for the next 6 weeks, you don't really, like, your nervous system's already prepped and ready, and your muscles have, your hormones are good, your muscles are building towards that direction. Like, it's not going to forget, you know, how to lift that 100 additional pounds, you know? Like, you're or say maybe you made a 100-pound PR, but then you get back to it later, and now all of a sudden it's like a 60-pound PR or something, like, at the very least. And it's like, whatever. Oh, Reddit stories? No, tonight we're reading actually small town horror stories. Got 4 of those lined up. Should be pretty lit. Go follow me on social media if you guys haven't already. Stuff equals random fart sound effects. Oh yeah, I wish I had those on lock. I'll have to make them myself probably. Madison had a stressful week. Well, welcome to the motherfucking dojo. We about to get you chill. Sci-fi stuff? You wish, Astro. You wish. I wish too, though. Sci-fi was definitely one of my favorites. Your best bench press was 385 on your last set. That's crazy. Honestly, like, to get your bench to that, like, I don't know. It's definitely in a very high percentile, I think, because I just don't think the average layman really gets, like, anywhere beyond, like, 225 sometimes, or even, like, especially 300. Miss Molly with the 5 says, Joel, my love, how are you tonight? I've been watching Night Stalker on Netflix the last few hours. I hope yours was good. Your day was good. Nice. What's Night Stalker about? That sounds interesting. You know what I watched on Netflix yesterday that was hilarious AF? Goat, thank you. I am the king of YouTube. I'm trying. Even though there are many, many higher above me in the hierarchy of YouTube, I accept my title as king. But I watched Eric Andre's Bad Trip. And basically it's like, it's kind of like Borat, if you've ever seen Borat. Where there's like an overarching story with like a character, but like everything that he does is sort of like in prank format, like where they play the skits out with like people's like actual reactions and stuff, and it's so fucking funny. It's so funny. Especially when he goes to like the zoo. Just everything about it's hilarious, and Eric Andre's hilarious. And they must have like recorded that back like pre-COVID era. But if you haven't seen it, it's fucking great. Herrera with the 2. Me. He's got a question. Yes, my friend. What is your question? And Carly Atson with the 5 says, I love your videos. Keep it up. I can't get enough of them. I've been a subscriber for a long time. P.S. You sound like a spicy enchilada. I give you diarrhea with my voice. What's the name of the song playing right now? Shit. Well, these are actually custom songs that I had commissioned out. But I could definitely send you the full playlist. And I've been meaning to put the playlist on Spotify for a while. I don't know what do you guys think? I feel like I make a lot of promises that I don't keep, which is pretty cool. I'm just like your typical, you know, dad who goes to get cigarettes. just never come back. I promise I'll put this music up. Just kidding, never did. Now I'm like getting into the distraction of seeing YouTube videos up on my thing. Anthony Souza with the 5 says, I've been listening to you for a couple of years now. I listen to you before bed every night, better than melatonin. Keep uploading. Thank you, Anthony. Honestly, it makes me feel so good when people say that, because I'm just like, especially when they've been listening for years, you know, that to me is just wild as shit, you know, like to stick with a YouTube channel for that long, that's like freaking awesome. That makes me feel like I'm doing something right, and especially if it's part of your bedtime routine, it's very intimate, you know, and for me to get to be a part of that, I feel happy about it. We're talking about small town stories. We are. Well, not right now. Do you have any small town stories? Do I consider hamsters cute? You know, I haven't had a lot of interactions with hamsters. I do find them cute in the sense that they can just shove literally anything into their mouth. Probably like, oh, that would be cool if there was like some sort of like hamster character that could fit anything into its mouth, like the world, maybe a shed. Kind of like in remember the Globetrotters with Scooby-Doo, like the one dude would pull random shit out of his afro. That's what that hamster could do. Pull random, be like a superhero hamster that pulls shit out of its mouth. Pull out the cure for fart balls. What do I do in my free time? You know, this area that I live in is kind of boring, to be real with you, that I live in. But most of the time, my life just sort of exists like chilling in bed or chilling in bed. No, I'm just kidding. No, I like to lift weights. That's like part of my routine. I like to go hang out with friends and people, family. I like to go on hikes and be in nature and stuff, and I like to hang out in Discord and chat with everybody, so join the Discord if you haven't. Fry's here to link you if you'd like a link to the Discord. I used to be really into like learning about political stuff till I found out that was kind of pointless. You know? Just kind of like, oh, whatever. You sit here and I realize like politics has this really strange way of convincing you that you're like actively participating in something bigger than yourself without realizing that you're actually just consuming it for entertainment. And that's why I just kind of, and it was also creating a very negative rift in my life with just anybody I noticed. Like it created a negative rift. So I thought, you know what, cut that out. I'm just going to focus on me. I'm going to focus on self. I'm going to focus on individuality of being the change that I want in the world, and just let everything else go. Drew's room with the 2 says, hope everyone's having a great evening. Love y'all. Thank you, Drew. Love you too. Good to see you. Adrian Guzman with the 5 says, what's up? Love your videos. Your favorite narrator. Thank you, Adrian. Thank you. We're just cruising. We're just living life in here. Got another 5 minutes till I kick off the stories. We got 4 thick ones tonight. Let's read a Mr. Nightmare collab. That would be a dream come true, my friend. That would be great. You know, bake me mac and cheese. Thank you. I would like to have a mac and cheese baker on hand. The Nuclear Boy Scout? No, what's that all about? T-Quick with the 2 says, hey you, hello there. Jonathan, I'm doing good. Why is my voice so attractive and soothing? I don't know. I guess it was God. God did it. I should be in a Meat Canyon video. Dude, I just watched Meat Canyon's video. I love Meat Canyon. And maybe I love Meat Canyon because not only is he, like, their stuff hilarious, but, like, it's quick, you know what I mean? Like, the videos are, like, 3-4 minutes long, so you can, like, just... Also, his original cartoon that he has going is fucking good as fuck. So, like, I hope that gets picked, or, like, he gets, like, picked up by some sort of Netflix or something of that nature, but if that does happen, I also kind of worry that then he won't be able to keep up with the his YouTube process, but he's hilarious. I would love to be in a Meat Canyon video. I saw, you know, Corpse had a cameo in it because, well, his image had one where it was like the girl who had like an OnlyFans had like a Corpse poster up on the wall. I thought that was pretty funny. Rebecca, 88. Well, welcome. Basically, for anybody new, for the first 20 minutes, I let people roll in, a little bit of Q&A action, a little bit chit-chatting, and then get acclimated to the environment. I get nice and lubed up with my tea that I'm drinking, and then we will kick off. You guys will get to hear me recording and making mistakes, but yeah, don't feel free to continue to ask questions as the stories are going on. I make a lot of mistakes, which gives me time to like peek at the chat, and if something catches my eye, I like to get distracted and respond to things. T-Quick with the 5 says, love y'all, take care. Mwah. 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 What do I love to do the most? I fucking love dogs. Dogs are fucking cool. Like when I see a dog in the street, I just like, I'm that person that is gonna fucking pet your dog. Like, I'm sorry. I know I'm a grown-ass man, but like if I see your dog and it looks like it doesn't want to kill me, I'm getting close, and I'm gonna be smushing my hand all over its face. I get that way with cats now, but most of the time you don't see cats in the wild. They're usually sitting in people's windowsills, which has been a little bit more awkward for me, walking up to people's windows at night to talk to their cat through the window, and they think that I'm like trying to break in or something. Bro, no, I just want to see your fucking pussy, cat. What color's my hair? I'm just a skeleton. It's been completely ripped off, scalped. Yo, Electro Shaka, what's up, bro? How does one join the Buttersock cult? Oh, there's a beautiful little join button there you can click. Bitten by an insect. Yeah, many an insect. I don't know about spiders. Maybe spiders, but like in the night, you know what I mean? Bitten by mosquitoes, obviously. Ants. Fucking... what other dumbass? I fucking hate ticks. I think ticks, you know... I feel like everybody always says, like, tick season's gonna be bad this year. And it's like, yeah, it's gonna be fucking bad. It's always fucking bad. But yeah, I hate ticks a lot. One of the major reasons, like, wouldn't it be nice to just, like, wander through the forest? Just, like, go off the trail, let all of the fauna just, like, rub over your body, you know, your naked body. You're just frolicking through the woods and not have to worry about getting a fucking tick burrowed into your scrotum. That would be fucking cool. But no. We had to invent Lyme's disease. Do your Chills voice and say something like, Verga way. The fuck does that mean? The fuck did you just say to me? Just kidding. Speak like a southerner? Well, you know, different southern accents. Just depends on where you're from. I feel like people like, it's like, I'm in Pennsylvania, and I feel like there's people out in the rural areas that like sound like hard south, like more hard south than fucking someone from Georgia, you know what I mean? Like, Joel Big Daddy? Question mark? Confirmed? Big Daddy confirmed? Have you seen Falcon and the Winter Soldier? I have not. Is that it's a show, right? Not a movie. Take a walk through the African bush, no bug spray. Oh, that should be easy. They don't have ticks there. Ticks are dicks. Very, very true. What type of scary story do I like narrating most? Pretty much the paranormal ones, but haven't really done those because they're not quite as popular. The Cali accent, dude. My favorite tea. Honestly, I think most teas kind of taste like shit. So I put like branched chain amino acids in it so it makes it taste like a lollipop. Good eye, mates. It's a B-Busta impression. I actually don't remember what B-Busta sounds like, but B-Busta has a bit of a What's my fave religion? I don't know. I guess you're not really allowed to have like a fave religion. I guess whatever religion is nice to people, you know, and doesn't hurt anyone, doesn't make them feel bad. I always thought it was kind of interesting, and this is a theory I had. I know we got to read here, by the way. I'll switch to the reading screen just to make you feel better. But I always was kind of like, okay, hypothetically, religion, like all of the religions are false, right? Because presumably there can only be one, or there's got to be like one absolute truth or something of that nature. But at the same time, maybe there doesn't. Maybe all absolute truth is just subjective. But I go down this rabbit hole. It's not very fun. But I was thinking, like, why couldn't our westernized society, wherever you're from, whatever society you're from, why couldn't it have a religion that is just more like a guidance thing, you know what I mean? And that just kind of like makes you feel like you just do your best, you'll be good. Like, I would feel mentally much more comfortable following that religion. Whereas I feel like with pretty much every other religion, you're always just kind of under this like weird pressure by it to like not do stuff, or, you know, essentially not like indulge in anything, or don't eat too much chocolate or you'll shit, you know, etc., etc. And I don't know, it's just, wouldn't we want to like just, like, because then in that scenario, because there's so many religions, you have to start to wonder if everybody's fucking wrong, right? And if everybody's wrong, wouldn't we want everyone to just like feel comfortable with something, you know? So it's like, just fucking make one up, dude, and make it, you know, pretty chill, you know, and it involves like planning fucking flowers on Saturday or Sunday. Sunday would probably be better since that's church anyways. Do a corpse voice. Mistress with the 8 Aussie bucks says, just here to say you're my favorite creator and your content makes my day. I wish you released a podcast every day, but that's asking too much. No, I totally understand, but there will be one out Tuesday, which is 4/20, bro, April 20th, and it's gonna be fucking lit and beautiful. It's gonna be full of sponsors. That's exciting. Oh, and we're also at 420 viewers, bro. But yeah, that should be sweet. And thank you again. Hope things are going well in Aussie land. I was also watching this this comedy show called Lunatics, which has this guy who does like 9 different characters that are all from Australia. He's pretty impressive with his ability to like play every character, you know, but at the same time, not all of them like hit super hard. Probably the funniest one is, to me at least, is like the ones with like where he plays like young kids, like the one he plays like a 12-year-old kid, and then another one he plays a a college age girl who's like 7'3". It's really fucking funny. Aaron Wilson with the 5 says, have you heard Chill's number 15 music video? Also, I love you and your voice. Thank you, Aaron. I have heard that one, but I don't think I've listened to it that much. I think I just listened to it in passing, and I think Chills is the fucking man. He is the man with the plan. Honestly, Chills is in my opinion, one of my most respected creators in the community, especially the horror community, just because he's just outright such a nice guy. Because we didn't even really know each other that well, but like, I just remember like I reached out to him about, pretty much every time I've reached out to him about something, he always responds. And the one time I wanted to talk to him about stuff, he took like 2 hours out of his day to like have a phone call with me and just like chat about business and stuff like that, and like how to grow the channel and different things that I'm doing right or wrong, you know what I mean? And just giving his 2 cents as someone who's had a lot of success on here, and I'll always appreciate him for that, because he is just an outright nice Canadian, you know what I mean? Cat with the 5 has been listening for a couple years now, going to hit some dabs and draw. Thanks for being my background noise tonight. You're welcome, Cat. Good luck with the dabbies. Good luck with the drawies. Draw me something nice. And if you do draw something, tag me on social media or put it in the art. Put it in the art Discord area. That'd be sick. C. Malone, true. I was even a fan way before Among Us. Do they have holograms? I think we got holograms. We got holograms, right? Alright guys, like I said, thanks for being here. Click that like button, click the share button if you haven't already. Share it out to wherever you feel happy to share it. Twitter, Instagram, Face Farts, anywhere. Grandma needs to know about these videos. She's having trouble sleeping. She wants something a little edgy. No, Corpse is not Canadian. I'm talking about Chills. Did I say Corpse? I meant... If I did, I don't think I did, but yeah, Chills is Canadian. Corpse is from, like, California or something like that. SoCal, bro. Fucking gnarly. Catching that swell on West Point. What if you're drawing not safe for YouTube? Well, Twitter doesn't give a shit about that stuff. You can put fucking anything on Twitter. Alright, guy. Thanks, Dave. C. Malone, what's good? Welcome everybody again. If I miss your message, no need to spam, no need to anything. I'll, you know, my eyes will stumble across your glorious words at some time, and I promise I will say hello. Certain popular Minecraft players try to do the Chills voice. I don't really watch Minecraft or anything because I always hear about different people like that kid Dream, Tommy Innit, or whatever the fuck his name is, and like, you know, they do their thing. I don't really give a shit. But at the same time, like, it's kind of wild to me. Like, if you're doing Minecraft, I feel like people in there just got like huge followings because it's like you got the kid market, but then also the people that used to be kids who loved Minecraft are now in the adult market. And so you just like cover all bases of demographics and you just got fucking everybody watching your shit. It's just wild. What's the Discord? There you go. Fry's got you on the hookup. Alright. Here we go. Anybody from Maine? Anybody from Maine? Looks like the story's from Maine. T-Quick with the 2 said, did you guys know mimics are real? I've heard of mimics. In paranormal stories where you're like out in the woods and you're out in the motherfucking woods and then all of a sudden you hear someone pretending to be someone you know, or maybe even being, you know, pretending to be your voice and stuff, trying to draw you out into the woods. And that's fucking weird as shit, dude. Have they made movies about mimics yet? Because they should. Just something like really ominous and strange, you know? Because I feel like a lot of like horror movies don't utilize enough like mystery, and I feel like mystery is like where the real scares start. Okay, I gotta go to Forvo. If you've never used the website Forvo, it's Forvo. It's a great place to upload pronunciations of locations. It's also a great place to find out pronunciations of locations and names and all that kind of stuff that you otherwise wouldn't find just typing in, you know, Yarmouth pronunciation into Google, because sometimes you get nothing back. Yarmouth. Some type of mystery? What's this? Some type of mystery? What's James Bond? Some type of mystery? Alright, 10 seconds of silence for the soldiers. I was raised over in Little John Island back in Maine. Little John is a small community, about 100. Actually, I kind of feel like I need to like verify that it's pronounced Lil John. Lil John in the East Side Boys, Maine. If anybody's from there. I imagine it's just Little John. Lil John. Little John Island. Little John. Anybody from there? Am I about to say it completely wrong? I could see like, it's like just one word, Little John Island, Maine, but like, yo, hand me that Little John. Little John is a small community of about 100 people, just off the coast near Yarmouth. Technically, it's long since been Technically speaking, it's long been incorporated into Yarmouth Township, and all the island kids bus across the bridges to the high schools there, but try telling that to the islanders. We never say we're from Yarmouth. When people ask where we're from, we answer, Lil John, every time. Maybe it's the fact that we're cut off by the ocean. Maybe it's just the people who live there, but there's a strong sense of togetherness and independence on Little John. Kind of like a siege mentality, only without the siege. As I said, the island kids used to catch the bus across both the Talbot River. Talbot. How do you say Talbot? Talbot? Talbot. In the pool. As I said, the island kids used to catch the bus across both the Talbot Road and the Sandy Point bridges in order to get to school, which included me. It just so happened that my favorite teacher, Coach Collins, was also an islander, and he was my favorite teacher for two reasons. Not only did he teach history and coach the senior ice hockey team, but he was just an all-around nice guy too, and used to give me a ride home after practice, since walking home during a Maine winter night can sometimes be downright dangerous. Coach Collins was the kind of guy that kids like me really looked up to. He almost turned pro after playing hockey in college, won a Bronze Star in Vietnam, and unlike many of his colleagues, had a way of talking to his students that made you feel like he was your cool uncle or something. He was the best. No one had a bad word to say about him, and for a long, long time, Coach Collins occupied some mythical status in the town's collective consciousness. So it's March 7th, 1989. I remember the exact date because Coach Collins. Are you guys familiar with this guy? I'm not really familiar with him. Coach Collins. Coach Collins. Ciccarelli. If you're Italian, do you really have to pronounce it like that? Ciccarelli. It just seems like a lot of effort, a lot of excess breath. Ciccarelli. I remember the exact date because Dino Ciccarelli was traded from the Minnesota North Stars to the Washington Capitals. He was the outlaw hockey player for a while, a complete jerk, but God, could he shoot a puck? And it was all we talked about at practice that night. Then, in the middle of practice, I look up to see my girlfriend's best friend Kelly standing at the edge of the ice. She starts calling me over, and when I get a chance, I skate over to see what she wants. Kelly tells me that my girlfriend wanted me to call her as soon as I got home, and from the way Kelly was acting, I knew it wasn't going to be good news. Consequently, I'm totally distracted for the rest of practice. My shooting sucks, and I'm in a stinker of a mood by the time it comes for Coach Collins to give me a ride home like usual. He does his regular approachable patriarch routine. We talk, he dishes out some wholesome advice, and suddenly, I'm not catastrophizing. That's a weird word. Catastrophizing. The Sopranos. Are you singing, my buddy? Probably not tonight. I gotta be honest, like, when you guys ask me to sing, like, I really don't like singing. Like, I like singing as a thing, but because I'm not confident in my ability to sing, I really, really do not want to do it ever. So please, I mean, I don't care if you ask, like, I just be aware that I will not do it. He does his regular approachable patriarch routine. We talk. He dishes out some wholesome advice, and suddenly, I'm not catastrophizing. Catastrophizing. What the fuck is this word? This should be removed from planetdictionary.earth. Alright, hold on a second. Let me just... Son of a bitch. Okay, catastrophizing. Okay. And suddenly, I'm not catastrophizing so much anymore. I thank him, go inside, call up my girlfriend, and what do you know? She wants to break up. Coach's advice... Coach's advice sort of stopped me from having a full-blown teenage heartbreak moment, but I was still upset. Only I couldn't just sit around eating ice cream and feeling sorry for myself. I was masculine upset. I was troubled, so to speak. I figured I'd steal one of my dad's beers and go for a walk in the woods, maybe stand out on Madeline Point, looking all broody and such. So, that's exactly what I did. Looking back on it was just puppy love. Let me make sure I got this motherfucking word right. There's so many... I love, places. But I hate knowing... Madeline, okay. I just hate always having to, figure out how the fuck to say them. Because I can't tell you, there's 9 comments a fucking day from old videos where people, comment, oh god, I'm from Wishire, Shire town, and the way that he pronounced that was just fucking cringe, dude. Shut the fuck up. Just kidding. Alright. Looking back on it, it was just puppy love. No big deal. But as I said, it bruised my ego enough to feel like heartbreak, and that's all that mattered, I suppose. Either way, I found myself wishing I could talk to Coach Collins about it again. A guy like that had seen and experienced so much, and he'd still managed to come home and start a happy, functional family. He'd know what to say. He'd know what it was I had to do. I'm almost at Madeline Point, and I'm right where there's a kind of fork in the dirt road. One way leads to the water, the other is the overgrown driveway of a long abandoned house. Now the sun hasn't quite set by that time, and there's still a little bit of that blue twilight in the sky, and it gives the rotting old structure this awesomely creepy vibe. So creepy in fact that I almost soiled my pants when I heard some car horn let out this short, sharp honk from somewhere real close by. I had no idea anyone else was around. The whole point of walking out that far toward... What do I look like? Probably dangerous. A little dangerous, I guess you could say. Maybe mysterious. Potentially a mix between the dude from 50 Shades of Grey, whatever the fuck his name is, and I guess Sully from Monsters, Inc. Zucker Schnecky with the 10 says, I never miss your vids, but I never seem to make it to your live ones. Anyway, thank you and enjoy your channel very much. Thank you, Zucker. I know I recognize that name. I had no idea anyone else was around. The whole point of walking out that far towards Madeline Point was so I could be on my own. And since the place was normally deserted during the drizzly Maine springtime, I was kind of spooked that anyone was there at all. But by that point, I'm a little buzzed and naturally curious, so I start cautiously padding off down the overgrown driveway, trying to find the source of the honk. When I finally saw the truck that seemed to be parked deliberately out of sight among the street... Where's Pradeep in the chat? Yeah, where the fuck is Pradeep? He's not doing his modly duties. Have you ever tripped in front of someone and walked away like nothing happened? I have, yeah. Yeah. I walked by this... That was pretty funny. I was walking by this, one sorority girl downtown the other day. I don't know. She said... Or it was just, last night or something. But she said something really funny. I don't know, she's she's talking to her friend, she's well, I'm sober now, and her friend was Like, ew, why? And like, and she's like, I don't know. Like, it was just like a really funny, like NPC, like Grand Theft Auto 5 interaction. It was funny. Is Joel sharing his kinks? Not tonight. Not tonight. That's for the old Patreon stream. Where do you submit stories to be read on the YouTube or podcast? Yes, so you can submit it to letsreadsubmissions@gmail.com or preferably to reddit.com/r/letsreadofficial. Both very simple. When I finally saw the truck that seemed to be parked deliberately out of sight among the trees, I couldn't believe my eyes. Remember how I said I wished I had Coach Collins to talk to? That I could have really used some of that wholesome, cool uncle advice he always had on hand? Well, guess what? Like some miraculous act of God, whose truck should I find parked in the trees but Coach Collins? There's this weirdly comic moment at first when I'm super happy to see his truck, but I also realize I'm carrying the beer I stole from my dad. I dart back out of sight, toss the beer, and then start chomping on the stick of... Whoops. I dart back out of sight, toss the beer, then start chomping on the stick of double mint that I've been carrying to get the smell of booze off my breath. I'd just about come back around the trees for a second time when the passenger door to... I'm just about to come back around the trees for a second time when the passenger door to the coach's truck swings open. I watch as someone basically falls out of it, stumbles to their feet, then leans up against a tree and starts puking. I could tell right away it wasn't Coach Collins. It actually looked like a girl. And it was confirmed when I heard the kind of high-pitched puking sound she made. Okay, I realize that might sound weird, but guys and girls puke different. It is what it is. But anyway, I start straining my eyes to see who it is. Light is getting pretty low at that point, and without being able to see behind the mess of long hair, it was hard to tell exactly who it was. But then, I hear Coach Collins saying something from inside his... Dude, I keep fucking tripping on my words tonight. It's so frustrating because this is actually written very well. But then, I hear Coach Collins saying something from inside his truck. Only, it didn't sound like the Coach Collins I knew. Get back in the truck, Maria. Then I realized who it was. It was Maria. Maria Mullen from school. Maria and I had chemistry together. Maybe I shouldn't say her full name. I feel like that's kind of like... Then I realized who it was. Maria and I had chemistry together, so I'd spoken to her once or twice, and she'd been a cheerleader for the longest time until recently dropping out of the squad. Her dropping out of the squad had coincided with a decline in her GPA and an overall odd shift in her behavior. A bunch of rumors went around that ran the spectrum of patently ridiculous to sinisterly believable, but the truth had remained in the dark. Yet something was definitely having a negative effect on Maria. Any tattoos? Just the lower back one. Does anyone remember what that one is? Does anyone remember my tattoos on my lower back? Yet something was definitely having a negative effect on Maria. And there came a moment when I realized I might have just found out what that thing was. Hidden among the trees, maybe 40 or 50 feet away, I watched Maria wiping her mouth before the coach yelled something at her from the driver's seat. Don't make me tell you again, Maria. Get back in the truck. Maria seemed to be... Maria seemed to be fighting back tears, like getting back in that truck was the last thing on earth she wanted to do. Then I literally can't believe that I'm seeing... Then I can't believe... God damn it. I'm struggling tonight, dude. I'm struggling. I just can't find a fucking rhythm with my fucking... brain. With my brain. The girl's voice was good, thanks. Then I literally can't believe that I'm... Why is it that? God damn it. Then I literally can't believe what I'm seeing as she turns, tugs up her jeans a little, then buttons them closed. I'm glad I don't have to explain the connotations of that because even all these years later, the idea still makes my skin crawl. Only as Maria turns, I must have been leaning too far out from the tree I was using for cover because there's this one horrible moment where we both just lock eyes for a second. I assume I'm busted, so I start edging away before breaking into a run back towards Cousin Street. As I'm running, I keep expecting to hear the truck revving its engine, either to follow me or take off to avoid being seen. But nothing. Fucking bullshit. Okay. As I'm running, I keep expecting to hear the truck revving its engine, either to follow me or take off to avoid being seen again. But nothing happens. I just run and run and run until I reach the Talbot Road bridge that led back to Littlejohn and home. Once I was home, and I'd calmed down a little, I started to wonder why I'd ran in the first place. I know it sounds horrible in retrospect. The way Coach was talking to Maria should have told me everything I needed to know. There was the lack of empathy that she was vomiting, not to mention the question why she was vomiting in the first place. But I was young, scared, and embarrassingly drunk off of one beer, so I tried to rationalize. I didn't even really see Coach Collins, and it's possible that someone else in the area owned a truck the same model as his. Sure, the voice sounded like him, but that didn't mean it was. Besides, if something shady was going on, surely Maria would have told me, since she'd seen me all in all. Besides, if something shady was going on, surely Maria would have told me since she'd seen me and all. But thinking of it, had she seen me? Maybe I just imagined she had. And if they were doing...
Hey, listen!
And if they were doing something awful, why not speed off or give chase? There was a lot that I could interpret as being totally harmless, but there was a disturbing amount that indicated that what I'd seen was something very, very wrong. But then, what was I to do about it? Accuse Coach Collins, the small-town war hero, a father, a husband, the best hockey coach in the Northeast, of being a pederast? What the fuck is this word? Pederast? Pederast. Pederast, a man who desires or engages in sexual activity with a boy. Oh, that's awkward. Zucker Schnecky with the 5 says, "Good night, everyone. Gotta go. Butter socks." Thank you, Zucker. Sleep tight. Thanks for stopping by, and thank you for you dono. I'm trying to maybe just like Predator. I'll probably. I mean, I don't know. I don't even know what the fuck pederast. Well, it is a word, pederast or whatever, but I don't know. Like saying, like, especially on like a monetized video on like YouTube, saying like pedophile, probably get like tagged, you know. And I just don't want like any headaches from YouTube, you know. You feel me? You feel my vibe? Accuse Coach Collins. Excuse me, pardon me. Excuse me, pardon me. Just gonna burp, throw up on your face. Okay. But then, what was I to do about it? Accuse Coach Collins, the small-town war hero, a father, a husband, the best hockey coach in the Northeast, of being a freaking predator? That was unthinkable to me. What if I accused him, and there was a perfectly reasonable explanation? I'd be a pariah. I wouldn't be able to show my face around town, let alone at hockey practice, the same hockey practice I loved and that he coached.
Hey, listen!
I'm sorry to ramble. It's just, you need to understand my mindset about it, and why I kept so quiet about the whole thing for like a straight week. I know it was the wrong play, and to everyone reading this, especially to Maria, I'm sorry. You just have to understand. I figured if anything was going to go down, it'd be the next day at school. Maybe Maria would confront me about spying on her or something. I had no idea. Everything was still so unclear at the time, hence my hesitance to act on it. But nothing happened. No one said anything. Coach Collins passed me in the hallway and just said, "Morning," like he normally did. I tried to act normal about it. I tried to push it all the way in the back of my mind, but I've never been very good at hiding the way I feel. I know people noticed the change in my attitude. By the weekend, my mom was asking why I was being so quiet. I told her I was just tired, but I guess it's because the one thing I wanted to talk about was off limits. I especially couldn't act the same around Coach Collins, and it was only when I went to check out his truck after school that I got any sense of reassurance. I noticed that there was this big "Support Our Troops" sticker on his back bumper, something I didn't remember seeing on the truck in the woods that day. But as much as I tried to ignore it, the fact remained that I simply may not have noticed it at the time because, understandably, I was very much distracted by other events. But still, I kept my mouth shut, and it actually took a few more days before I actually did anything about it. The day I broke was exactly a week after the event. For 7 nights straight, all I'd thought about before I drifted off into an uneasy sleep was the possibility of Coach Collins being the voice in that truck. Of how, if he was doing something seriously evil to Maria right under the noses of everyone in town, then I had to do something about it. I wouldn't be able to live with myself otherwise. So, I decided to approach Maria. I couldn't just ask her who she was with. Oops, that sounded weird. I couldn't just ask. Jesus Christ. Sorry, I'm like trying to read the comments. I don't even have the energy to go back to my Pradeep account. What? You're telling me that's not my cat on the fucking YouTube account? I had no idea. Hey, BTS Army, what's good? And Steve, what's up, Steve? I couldn't just ask who she was with, promise to keep my mouth shut and live with the consequences. I didn't have to drop Coach... Fucking Jesus Christ, I suck at reading. Why can't I just find it? I didn't have to drop Coach Collins' name, and I could just gauge her reaction to the question. And when I looked at it like that, it all seemed so easy and simple. I mean, she'd tell me if she needed help, right? Right? And that's what I did. I caught up with Maria after chemistry one afternoon, asked if I could talk to her in private, apologized for what I was about to ask, then just hit her with it. Who were you with out near the power station with... Wait, who were you out... Oh, okay. Who were you out near the power station with last week? Why does that sound fucking weird? Who were you out near the power station with last week? I feel like they've... Let me just... Who were you out with near the power station last week? The way she looked at me at first made me think she was about to just deny it. This mocking, "you're crazy" kind of look. I cut her off with, "I know it was you. I saw you. And you saw me too. I just need to know who you were with." After that, all her bluster just melted away, and the confident ex-cheerleader began to look like a scared little girl. "No one," she said, and just walked off towards the lockers. I tried one more time to talk to her about it, but as she walked past me in the school parking lot, all she had to say to me was, "Leave me alone." That was the crushing moment when I realized that my worst fears had come true, and that nothing about little John would ever be the same for me, ever again. The trouble was, I was at something of an impasse. Even if I did tell the cops about the coach, she'd have to actually want to talk to someone about it. Otherwise, all I had was a baseless accusation that might ruin my life completely. If I was going to do anything, it needed to be well planned and delicately executed. But just what was that? Spirited Away. I've seen Spirited Away. It's an amazing movie. I think it was actually, when I was younger, it was one of the first Studio Ghibli movies I had ever watched, and I loved it. Steve Harrington with the 5 says, so glad to be here. Well, welcome, Steve. We're glad to have you. My only complaint about Spirited Away was whenever they went on that train to go see that witch or whatever, I kind of felt as if, though, like, it was kind of rushed, you know what I mean? Like, that was supposed to be... It was a very, like, anime show type moment, you know what I mean? Where that little adventure they were making was supposed to take a duration of time longer than it did, like maybe like a couple episodes or something, or at least 30 minutes, you know what I mean? But other than that, that movie's just it just like filled me with such wonder as like a kid, you know what I mean? It was the fucking shit. And honestly, that was like, I don't know why, like I watched Dragon Ball Z, I watched Spirited Away, stuff like that, but like I never really like thought, whenever I would watch animes, I never really like thought of them as animes, you know what I mean? Like I feel like nowadays people just like, what kind of animes do you like? And like it's just like an automatic like response of like the 30 different ones they just finished or whatever. But like back then I feel like the term anime was not as in your face or whatever. Same with like weebs. Weebs was not a thing. Joel must be a country boy. Why is that? You like Princess Mononoke more? Princess Mononoke is very good. Yeah, I remember actually, I think I may have seen Princess Mononoke in a sort of out of context scene when I was actually younger, because it was before Spirited Away, because I remember renting Spirited Away from Blockbuster, if that gives away my age. Even though I've told you guys my age before, but like I just remember like there was a scene in Princess Mononoke, and I think it was like on like HBO or something, like a channel that my parents had like early in the morning before school, and he just like, you know, this is the protagonist, shoots a fucking arrow at like two antagonist characters, two enemies or whatever, and it just like slices their fucking arms off, right? Do you remember that? Just like cuts their arms off, and it's not like bleeding a ton, it's just like their arms get cut like fucking fresh pork at a deli or some shit, and they're just like looking at their arms like, huh? What the fuck? Like, and I don't know why, as like a young kid, that shit used to like just like scar me. I was just like, what the fuck? So those guys just don't have arms anymore? Fun fact, Joel is actually my great-grandmother. This is true. Joel is happily 69. I've achieved nice status. Casper, what up? Have I watched the last Blockbuster on Netflix yet? No, I haven't. It was a good feeling. Every fucking Friday night, going with the family. They get their beer. I'd get my soda pops and snacks. And then I would, you know, they would get some fucking dumb adult movie that I hated, and then I would get my cool cartoon movies, you know, or a video game or some shit that I get to rent for 48 hours or however long it was. Sometimes it was longer. I think some of them were like 5 days, depending on what game it was or how long it's been out. But yeah, Blockbuster was definitely a very good time in life. I have another interview tomorrow. I feel more confident now as a software engineer and speaking with people in general. Liberty Mutual told me I'd have a second interview. Nice, dude. Well, it sounds like you're moving and grooving, and you got that inspiration to keep going. So let's get it. Secretly 130. I am a vampire, so yeah. Blockbuster and Hollywood Video were, yeah, Hollywood Video was like way on the other side of town, so like we only seldom went there. Blockbuster was closer, But Hollywood Video is sweet. You watched anime in the 1980s. I mean, the old school animes were sick as fuck. I still think they're good, but I don't know. The old ones, I feel like were a lot more grittier. But it is what it is. If I was going to do anything, it needed to be well planned and delicately executed. But just what that was, I had no idea at the time. In the weeks since I saw Maria in the woods, I'd skipped hockey practice twice, and the times I showed up, I ducked Coach Collins when he asked about me at my usual. And the times I showed up, I ducked Coach Collins when he asked me about my usual ride home. But that evening, when I fumbled for minutes... But that evening, when I fumbled for some excuse about going over to a friend's house to study, he said something that made my stomach tie itself into a knot. Get in the truck. The tone was almost exactly the same as it had been in the woods the previous night. Get in the truck. That doesn't sound authentic. I feel like I'm trying to think what trying to think what he would sound like. Get in the truck. The tone was almost exactly the same as it had been in the woods previously. If there was any doubt still left in my mind, there wasn't after that. Part of me wanted to just get in the truck, to go back to pretending like I hadn't seen anything, or if I did, it was all perfectly explainable. But the other part of me, the rational part, told me that getting in Coach Collins' truck was a very, very bad idea. I told him no, nothing else, just one solitary no. And what followed were a few moments of silence as I saw a look come over the coach's face that I'd never seen before. He became cold, expressionless, and only later did it occur to me that I was looking at what might have been the last one or two Viet Cong guerrillas. What? He became cold, expressionless, and only later did it occur to me that what I was looking at might have been the last thing one or two Viet Cong guerrillas. Okay, yeah. Tomorrow's interview will be with Salsify and works with Coca-Cola, L'Oreal, Kroger, Kellogg's, Johnson & Johnson, and more. They help their products to show up on other retailing. Well, hey, give me some fucking sponsorships, bro. That'd be dope. GG Full Creeper. What? The fuck you talking about, Chi-Chi? You are on timeout, mister, saying naughty words. You're turning 20, I'm 28, turning 29 on 4/21. Life passes so fast. Remember graduating high school now. I'm getting close to 30. It is what it is. Use your time wisely. Go do something fun. Go live life. Go pick one thing and or a few things, or one thing external from relationships, but just pick one thing and fucking chase it. You know what I mean? Just chase it. And pretend like you're dying tomorrow, I guess, Just pretend tomorrow's death, and then every day you wake up, you're like, holy shit, I'm not dead. It's kind of cool. He became cold, expressionless, and only later did it occur to me that what I was looking at might have been the last thing one or two Viet Cong guerrillas saw before. Then he spoke. Have you got something you want to ask me, son? I just shook my head. Good. Because being so close to graduating, it would be a shame if anything were to keep you from your studies, wouldn't it? He said, and waited for a response. And I didn't say a thing in reply. Kid like you has a lot of potential. You could enroll in some fancy college across the country, get some well-paid big city job, and just leave Little John behind. Never look back. You understand me? The horrible thing was, I did understand. I heard what he said, and I saw the appeal. but I hated him. I felt betrayed, and I wanted everyone to know he was a liar, a cheat, and a predator. So after a week of doing nothing, I finally went home and told my mom. I know it was something I should have done a week prior. It was obvious just from how tactfully she knew how to handle the situation. She drove over to Maria's house, talked to Maria's mom. In private, she was quick to add. Then the pair of them approached Maria and just, I don't even know, used their mom magic to just coax it out of her. By the time she got home at around 10, just 3 hours after she left, she said Maria and her mom were ready to go to the police. Only the thing is, unlike Hollywood movies, where there's usually some big resolution and everyone gets their just desserts, etc., this story doesn't have a real end to it. Coach Collins was questioned by police, but since the DA or judge or whoever didn't think there was enough evidence to push for a trial, the coach was never arrested or charged with anything. Maria, on the other hand, died in a car accident where the other driver was twice over the legal limit. Just smashed into her and her sister while they were coming back from Portland one night. It was a horrific tragedy, and it meant that whatever secrets Maria had went to her grave with her. But the cherry on top is that not only was Coach Collins never punished for what he did, but he was right about me. I went into a college out in Seattle, ended up getting a job here in Oregon. Mom and Dad moved into Portland as they got older, so I've not been back to Little John in almost 20 years now. And honestly, I'd like to keep it that way. I can't stand small towns in general anymore. My wife thinks they're cutesy and quiche. Quiche? What the fuck is quiche? Quiche. Quiche. What the fuck is quiche? Man, what the fuck is quiche? Oh, quiche? Kitsch. Let me look it up real quick. Kitsch. Something that appeals to a popular or lowbrow taste and is often of poor quality, a tacky or lowbrow quality or condition. Kitsch. Teetering on the brink of kitsch. Alright. Kitsch. You do wish you were born in the 1600s or the early 1700s? Why? So you could be burned for being a witch? And honestly, I'd like to keep it that way. I can't stand small towns in general anymore. My wife thinks they're cutesy and kitsch, but only because she grew up in Chicago. Me, I know how small towns work. I know they all have dark secrets buried just among the surface, just amongst us. Me, I know how small towns work. I know they all have dark secrets buried just among the surface. But unlike big cities, where bad things happen all the time, people just don't see it. In small towns, people know all about the bad things. And it's not only they can't... What the fuck? This whole fucking paragraph. Okay, real quick. Me, I know how small towns work. I know they all have dark secrets buried just below the surface. But unlike big cities where bad things happen all the time, people just don't see it. In small towns, people know all about the bad things. And it's not that they can't see it. They just choose not to. Amongst us. That is sad as fuck. That's actually the saddest fucking story ever. Jesus Christ. It's like you almost like hope that it's not fucking true. But somebody in the chat seemed to recognize Coach Collins' name or something that like, unless it was like, is he reading live? He is reading live. He is. Yeah, it was like, how did they spell kitsch? Kitsch. It's, yeah, Kitsch. Yeah, you got it right there. There you go. Night, Ruth. Stay safe and sleep tight. Tits or ass? I don't know. What do you guys think? Personally... Personally... Hey, Fearsome Hero, what's up? How are you? If you guys join the Discord, you get to chat with Fearsome once in a while. She pops in. Oh, sorry, Chi. I thought Alright, my bad. I got here at the end of the story. What did Coach Collins do? I guess you'll hear tomorrow. Honestly, I don't even want to repeat it. It's pretty fucked up. You like my butt better? Yeah, I got a booty. I am a booty guy. Hence why I work on my own. I don't have a problem with either, but honestly, I feel like everyone's just attractive. You know what I mean? Like every variation of girl is just great. You know, just fan motherfucking tastic. Booty, 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 rockin' everywhere. Just Google must-read books or Harvard book list. In relation to what? Cute face, little waist with a big behind. Just have a nice personality. Nice personality is great, you know? Like, whenever I can, like, laugh with somebody or, like, it's somebody that can, like, make jokes and shit, it's just, like, so much easier for me, you know what I mean, as, like, a human being interacting with them. I think that goes without saying. Like, obviously, some of your friends that you've made, probably one of the reasons you're friends with them is because you have similar senses of humor, you know? And I guess the difficult part is, like, getting someone to feel comfortable to use their sense of humor around you, which sometimes you can use yours to open up theirs, but I don't know. I just feel like the people that are, like, too quiet or, like, too guarded, they come off as, like, judgmental, you know what I mean? Like, where they just want you to, like, fuck off or something. Joel taking the safe route. What's the safe route? Have I considered voice acting? I have, yeah. My friend keeps being like, dude, move out to LA. Get yourself a fucking agent. I don't know. Even, like, sense of humor in the long term. Like, think about it. Eventually, your body, your significant other's body, is going to slowly melt into a pile of shit, even before you're dead. And you just need things you can relate on, like very core values type things. And if you're laughing, if you both are having a good laugh into your fucking 60s, 70s, or, you know, pretty much the whole time through, hopefully, like, that's pretty powerful, you know? Be enjoyable and easy to talk to. Right, easy peasy. Yeah, agents take your money. Do more Texas stories? Yep, mayhaps. You sense of voice acting. I mean, like, I would like to. I would love that. I think that I just, like, have no fucking clue how to pursue that, you know what I mean? Because, like, from what I've heard from a friend of mine that works at Funimation, you need to be, like, within 2 hours, like, you need to be a resident within 2 hours of, like, the Funimation places in, like, Flower Mound, Texas, which I find really weird, but I think a lot of them work remotely right now. But then that just kind of means, like, because of COVID, that work is sparse. But, you know, things are picking up now as time goes on, which is cool. But I don't know. I just, like, I have no fucking clue. Joel would kill it in the acting business for real. That'd be sweet. I think I'd be really bad at, like, in-person acting. Like, or, like, it would require, like, a lot of training to, like, because, like, not only, because, like, with voice, you know, you can express, like, emotions with your voice, but you really, you know, like, to like actually include the nuance of like body language as well, that's like next fucking level shit. Your boyfriend and you laugh so fucking much it's not even funny. We have really similar stupid humor that's not a lot of people think is funny. Well, it's good. I mean, as long as you have each other and it's like a best friend vibe, like that's fucking sweet. You might as well just get married or some shit, you know? You might as well just get married or some shit. Also, what do you guys think about like talking to someone that you're going to get married or you want to get married to them, but like, or talking to your significant other about divorce? Is that a weird thing to talk about? Like, obviously it kind of kills the vibe, but just like being two like responsible people, what if like one of you majorly fucks up, or what if you just like grow apart over time and you don't really want to like put in the work to like make it happen, which statistically seems to be the case with like 50% of marriages where people get divorced, you know, which sucks. I don't want people to get divorced, but they do it, you know. I tell them, don't do that, and they're like, fuck you, dude, I gotta get out of here. But at the same time, like, how do you discuss that? Like, how do you have the discussion, or like, how do you protect yourself against that? You know what I mean? Like, where both of you kind of have your financial situation set up so that you don't, like, neither party gets absolutely fucked at the end. You know what I mean? That's what a prenup is for. I guess so. Is a prenup an absolute buzzkill? I guess it probably would be, but communication is key and understand. Yeah, communication is very important. Marriage is a myth. I agree. Marriage is kind of like just this arbitrary thing. Marriage is for the birds. Hey, wait a minute. Squawk. 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 Sometimes I actually wish I had like some fucking like random ass bird that just interrupted the stream with, like, I don't know, every time you type something, like every 5 minutes you type something, and like some bird voice just like read exactly what you said. Have I seen Centralia, PA? Yeah, Centralia, PA kind of sucks ass, to be honest. It's literally just like one giant like dump where people dump trash. Like, and I kid you not. Like, you go there and they talk about like the eternal burning mines of Centralia, where smoke bellows out from the cracks below in the inferno. And you get there and it's just like a bunch of like trash and used needles, and like there's a little bit of like, I don't even know, it almost looks more like fog coming out of like a pile of manure or something. You know what I mean? Like there's literally nothing exciting about Centralia. And the worst part is like, I'm not even joking, like every fucking road, every ditch is just filled with trash. Like everyone was just like, yep, this is the town where we're just going to turn it into a fucking heaping pile of poo. Take a couple of shots and talk about marriage to your partner. There you go. Not to myself. Marriage is just a contract between two people. Yeah. I'm sure after a while you kind of get a vibe with people. You know, you could probably communicate about that. Communication and comprehension is important in life, in a relationship. Yeah. If you truly love someone, why marry them to prove with a piece of complicated document? That's true. You know what I mean? Like, but there's also like some sort of like, I guess maybe even like a poetic thing beyond that too, where like, you know, if you're connected by a legal document, it feels, I don't know, like you're held to a certain, like a higher degree of responsibility to them, because you know that there are so many consequences to potentially deviating from that. But I have like met people, and I'm not suggesting this or anything, but I have met people that are in like open relationships and shit like that, you know, where like they just kind of allow each other to flow and deviate from what's conventionally accepted, you know, as far as, I don't know, they go to a fucking rock show or something and meet somebody there, and one thing leads to another. They're cool with it happening, you know what I mean? Whatever happens, you know, because the other party's cool with it. And then like, I don't know, because there wasn't like arbitrary rules set up to like, not arbitrary rules, but because there was communication about that sort of thing prior, both parties were just like, oh, yeah, now we don't hate each other after because we already agreed to it before. Now, granted, if someone probably does get jealous about it beforehand, they probably would have to communicate that eventually, but I don't think I could be in that. I feel like I'd be like, not necessarily the jealous type. I just feel like where I'm like, because I'm definitely not a controlling person at all. You know, I'm definitely not like one to like, where are you? Where the fuck are you? Unless I'm like scared about them or something. But like, I feel like eventually it would take its toll on me, where I'd just be like, this is really weird, knowing that you're going out and sucking on other people's toes. Aaron Wilson with the 2 says, about to have pizza, then have a caramel. I'm gonna have myself a little caramel after. Don't poop your pants. Research shows that men get significant health benefits to being married, i.e. diabetes, heart, and depression outcomes. Huh. Well, that would be cool. Yeah. I definitely feel like I probably would be a much more fulfilled human being if I had a wife and shit. You know, wife and kids. Seems like it's a good time. Everyone just, I don't know. It kind of, I feel like you fulfill like this poetic, ongoing accomplishment in life. You know what I mean? Not saying that people that don't do it, but it's just when I look at it, like from an external viewpoint, I can understand why people would be drawn to it in, you know, pretty much in all walks of life. Nesbit, what's good, homie? Just talking about fucking nothing, really. Caramel or caramel? Wait. What are the different ways to pronounce caramel? Caramel. Oh, yeah, caramel and caramel. I kind of like caramel. It sounds more fancy. Last links. Are those correlated, those two things you stated? Or just unrelated? Because you're making it seem like they're correlated, and I don't think being single needs to necessarily like put you into a hole where you, because honestly that too, like being single is a blessing, really. Like you don't have to answer to somebody every day, you don't have to deal with their, you know, the things that they have that drag you down. Like you're free to work on yourself as a human, you know.
Mischievous dog.
Who's a mischievous dog? What the fuck? Maddie? Does it say Maddie? It didn't show up on the screen, but Maddie, thank you. Welcome to the Buttersaw cult. Everyone say hello to Maddie, unless it's like re-upping. What if my future wife is in the chat right fucking now? What's up, babe? I promise I'm not flirting with any of these girls, I promise. Being single saves you money. Yeah, I can imagine. I guess there's like times where it's like I've gone on like trips with like couples, and maybe it's just like to like socially fit in. I think to myself like, oh, it'd be cool to have like my, you know, person. You know what I mean? My person that I can like hold hands with and go, ha 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 ha, that's so funny, darling. Did you guys hear the funny joke my wife told? Oh, God. She wants to kill me in my sleep. I grew up in a small town in North Wales, which will remain nameless for reasons that'll become obvious. It was the kind of place where everyone knew everyone else's business, and since there was little in the way of entertainment, gossiping became a lot of people's hobby of choice. Whether it was in the supermarkets, the pubs, the kids' playgrounds, or the rugby stands, people never missed an opportunity to divulge each other's deepest, darkest secrets. And just before I left for university in 2006, the most sensational and most poorly kept secret was that a teenage lad that we'll call Rhys? R-H-Y-S? What the fuck kind of name is that? Rhys? Is it Rhys? How do I feel about kids? Personally, can never. I love kids. I think they're awesome. I think they're hilarious. I also am fully aware that a few of my friends have kids. You know what I mean? And I also am fully aware of how fucking stressful it is to be responsible for a small little human, and the fact that they shit and piss and yell and scream and just have generalized troubles. You know what I mean? But I think it would definitely be worth it. Rhys. It is Rhys. Okay. Mischievous farts. Reese's Pieces. Kids are little gremlins. Yeah. I feel like I was a pretty good fucking kid. Like, if you ask my parents. My parents. Though I do wish I had, like... Because I was the youngest, but, like, the youngest by, like, really far. I do kind of wish that I had... I don't know, more like close of age siblings, just to have that kind of dynamic going. Because I notice, because my nephew, because my like brother is 10 years, my one brother's like 10 years older than me, and then I have a nephew that's like 10 years younger than me. Whenever he would be over, we actually are really tight. It's kind of funny, like having a nephew that's like, you are pretty much have the same interests, you know, at this point. Memes and video games and other bullshit. And like he's very comedic, has a good sense of humor, and like it's just fun when he comes over to interact with my parents as his grandparents, you know what I mean? And like kind of have that like back and forth dynamic between the parents and him that just makes things, as like kind of me feeling like an only child most of my life since my brothers were so much older than I was, kind of makes me feel like all of the attention or energy is not directed directly towards me, so I can kind of like, I feel like open up in a way that is otherwise I guess didn't feel comfortable doing previously. You have nieces and nephews that have their own kids. Yeah, that's you know, it happens. Sometimes people fucking make babies and shit. And just before I left for university in 2006, the most sensational and most poorly kept secret was that of a teenage lad that we'll call Reese to protect the innocent. Oops, that didn't... I haven't talked to your dad in 2 years already. On the other hand, I get in touch with my mom and sister all the time. Well, that's good. Do you get a number 7 at Mickey D's, Joel? I have to know, please. What's a number 7? Number 7, the extra creamy Burger King. You can't have Burger King here. Foot lettuce. And just before I left for university in 2006, the most sensational and most poorly kept secret was that a teenage lad, that we'll call Reese to protect the innocent, was clinically depressed and had started cutting himself. I'd seen Reese around town. Was clinically depressed and had started hurting himself. I'd seen Reese around town a few times, long hair obscuring his face, wearing long-sleeved t-shirts in the summertime. All the old biddies would shake their heads and tut whatever they saw him trudging through town. They'd say, "Oh, there he goes, off to buy drugs or razor blades or what have you." But I only saw him going in and out of the guitar shop. Then, on the day in question, Wales was playing New Zealand in the rugby game, so one of our neighbors had put up a marquee in the back garden. What the fuck is this sentence? Then, on the day in question, Wales were playing New Zealand in the rugby. Is that how you say it? In the rugby? Or is it just in rugby? And what is this word? Marquee? Marquee, okay. Which is a chiefly British. I like that. I like that in the definition. Chiefly British. A large tent set up for an outdoor party, reception, or exhibition. Okay, cool. Pink Diamonds, welcome, welcome. That'd be a good album name, Drugs and Razor Blades. Even though I don't condone either, but you get the idea. Trudging through. Then, on the day in question, Wales were playing New Zealand in the rugby, so one of our neighbors had put up a marquee in their back garden that was complete with a projector. The idea being that anyone not going to the 2 pubs in town could congregate at his place, having a drink and watch the Dragons. I didn't really care about the rugby at the time, still don't really, so I had to hear this from my sister. But during halftime, that Reese boy's dad popped home for some reason, then rushed back to tell his wife that he thought Reese was trying to take his own life. His room was locked, and no one was responding whenever they knocked. Reese's dad had tried to kick the door down, but he wasn't exactly a giant or anything, so he'd rushed back to the party for help. Just about everyone at the party immediately rushed around to Reese's parents' house, and the blokes helped bash the door down to find that, whoops, no one was there. In his carling-induced... Carling? What the fuck is a carling? The fuck is carling? You're not supposed to say T... Wait, you're not supposed to say T in word British. You're supposed to say T in word British? What the fuck is... What? Joel, you are a cool hot mess. Thank you, Aura. Aurora? Aurora? Carling. Is it a drink? It's a... Well, I don't really know what the fuck. In his carling-induced haze, Reese's dad had thought to check his bedroom. Oh, okay, so he was drinking. George Carlin, yeah. Dude, I fucking love George Carlin so much. I feel like the world could learn a lot from George Carlin nowadays. Just realizing how hypocritical some of us truly are. Hey, why don't you name this fandom? I have. You guys are the Buttersock cult. Cock Punch! Dude, Falcon Punch is... Well, Captain Falcon is one of my favorites. You're cringing, Jason is cringy boy, or like wow bow. In his carling-induced haze, Reese's dad hadn't thought to check his bedroom window, which a grounded Reese had used to escape his bedroom so he could go hang out with his friends or something. But they didn't know that at the time, and everyone still was in a bit of a panic. And I mean everyone. Because like I said, 90% of the people left the party to help possibly save Reese's life. Even the homeowners had ran out after telling their 12-year-old son to keep an eye on the baby. They'd only be gone for a couple of minutes, and their son wouldn't possibly hurt his baby sister, would he? From what I heard, when the 12-year-old's parents arrived home about a half hour later, the mom screamed so loud and so long that she fainted and just about cracked her head open on a sideboard. While they were gone, their son, whom I'm assuming was a few sticks short of a bundle, had spilled some of his juice on his baby sister and couldn't find any paper towels to drive her off. Why are you so awake right now? I don't know, I'm really awake too, and I feel like I shouldn't be, but... George Carlin hated tomatoes? Nice. I just like George Carlin's description of choice. He's like, you don't really have any real choice. The only choice you have is your 39 flavors of jelly beans. That's kind of true, George. Thank you. While they were gone, their son, who I'm assuming was a few sticks short of a bundle, had spilled some of his juice on his baby sister and couldn't find any paper towels to dry her off. Instead of using absolutely anything at hand to just wipe his sister off, the kid took it upon himself to put his baby sister in the microwave before turning it on for a couple of minutes. People have tried to say they heard or saw how bad the scene was, and I've heard some seriously graphic descriptions in my time, but I don't think anything could really touch on the pure horror of walking in on something like that. A lot has been made of the kid's intentions too. Since he was 12, not some toddler, some people argued that he knew exactly what he was doing, and the trying to dry her off story was the family's way of clawing back some small shred of decency, pretending it was all just a horrible accident, when in actual fact, it was something considerably more dark. Fuck. Dude, this is... What the fuck? What the hell, man? This caught me off guard. Jesus Christ. Baby in the microwave. What the fuck? What kind of fucking stories are you guys sending in? Jesus Christ. Baby in the fucking microwave? Did that actually fucking happen? Joel, have you ever tried Indian mangoes? They are heavenly. You should try sometime. I'm not bubbling for real. Try sometime. Indian mangoes are nothing like you ever try. They are so different. Hella tasty. I do love that mangoes have like more different species to them than apples, which is pretty wild, or like different variations. And it sucks. I went to this Mexican restaurant recently, and they had these like basically cups of mangoes like cut long ways, and I was like, oh, I fucking love mangoes. And then my friend who like knows the deal, bro, he knows the deal, he put fucking like hot sauce, or like sweet sauce, like sweet hot sauce on it, mixed with this like other like seasoning, and then you're supposed to put some lime on it or whatever. But then when I bit into it, it was like the fucking mango was like straight up brine. Like it was not ripe at all. And that is so disappointing. It's like, why the fuck would you sell a mango that's not ripe? That should be criminal. That should be criminal. You should go straight to jail. Overcooked fish, straight to jail. Undercooked fish, straight to jail. Undercooked, overcooked. Can you do a Mr. Nightmare voice? I honestly can't do Mr. Nightmare. I feel like his voice is like just not very like, there's nothing about it that really jumps out to me, you know what I mean? That it just feels like a normal voice. And when I was a kid, I read stories, and I don't know. I just like can't. It's hard to do like normal voices, you know, like no accent, no like sort of unique intonations. They eat them non-ripe in Mexico? Dude, fuck that. That sounds like a terrible idea. Lazy masquerade. Okay. Fuck, my voice just cracked, even though. When in actual fact, it was something considerably darker. Yet I know this sounds grim, but between you and me, if you knew the kid that had done it, you might not even be surprised. Not evil by any stretch of the imagination, but not all there either. I think the most shocking thing for me, though, is how rumors about Reese had people literally running all over town, trying to find him, trying to kick down his door, blah blah blah, when really, the biggest threat to anyone's safety was this seemingly harmless and perfectly innocent young lad who just shouldn't have been left alone by his mom and dad. They moved him into a psychiatric home for juveniles not long after, and by the following year, his family had moved over to England, I assumed to get away from the memory of it. I feel for them, I really do, but the thought of that little girl getting cooked in that bloody microwave makes my skin crawl, even today. Oh. Fuck, man, that's a grisly fucking image. Manganadas hit different. What's that? Is that pretty much the same thing? Oh, what? No one eats unripe mangoes in Mexico? That's bullshit. Oh, okay. Well, I don't fucking know, bro. You're writing that like you're fucking gravely offended that someone would assert something as ridiculous as eating an unripe mango. How absolutely dareth thee, sir? No, I mean, well, I agree with you. Why the fuck would you ever eat an unripe mango? But at the same time, my thought process was like, I don't know, maybe they do it like people eat plantains. You know, like plantains are these like starchy fucking bananas, you know what I mean? Or like even a banana. Did you ever bite into a banana when it's fucking green? It's gross. But if you boil it and turn it into a mash, it has its uses. So I just kind of assume it's along the same thought process. But I like mine a little fermented, if you get my drift. You got a story? Yeah, check the bio. Links there. Email, Reddit. You know what to do. You make mango smoothies. Fuck yeah, let's go. Oh, you fry plantains. I don't know. You could boil them, couldn't you? Boil 'em, smush 'em, put 'em in a stew. Boil 'em, mash 'em, put 'em in a stew. Unripe babies, good God. Am I smiling crack? I am definitely smiling crack. You like green bananas? Fuck that, dude. Fuck green bananas. I ain't got time for that shit. I want fucking yellow, borderline brown bananas that are like mushy and got bugs crawling in them. Just kidding, but I like mushy ones, sweet ones. Give me that sweet, tasty banana. Serenade me? How about I marinade you? Would you like some stew? Black plantains? Never heard of it. Just saw The Pianist, Night Ruined. Yeah, it's a pretty heavy movie, is it not? Small town. Okay, North Wales. Little John. Alright, this one. The city. How long is this? 4 pages? 5 pages. Annie Spencer with the tense is because you like a spotty brown banana. Oh yeah, you gotta do it. And then they gotta be really, really brown to make your banana bread. Which I fucking love banana bread. Really just any bread, really. I just love bread. Like a hard banana. Hard banana.
Hey, listen.
Alright, so this one, I think is like a true crime one. I gotta burp though. Somebody come burp me. Sorry. Thank you, mommy. You bake, bro? Do you even bake, bro? That'd be a great shirt. Do you even bake, bro? Oh, dude. There has to be some deviations from, like, do you even lift, bro? For, like, I don't know, like a baking YouTube channel or a baking Instagram. And it's just like, do you even bake, bro? You make, like, shirts. That'd be sweet. Thank you for the blessings on the burp. In northwestern Missouri, there is a small, unassuming town, much like many others that dot the highways of the central United States. Established in 1840, it is the home of St. Oswald's, one of the oldest Protestant Episcopal... Damn, I knew that word too. Thanks for the pat. Eating burpings so I can throw up on everyone. The Irishman is a good film. I don't think I've seen that one. From Let's Read to Let's Bake real quick. Carrot cake? Fuck yeah, I love carrot cake. Carrot cake's so fucking good. Like one of my favorite cakes. Probably like if I had a birthday. Oh, dude, imagine making a carrot cake mixed with an ice cream cake for my birthday. For the day that I get to be super selfish about fucking everything and get all the attention. Just because I was pooped out randomly. Established in 1840, it is the home of St. Oswald's, one of the oldest Protestant Episcopal churches in the country. But other than that, there's not much to the place, and it would be easy to just drive through the one-stoplight town without so much as a second glance. But in actual fact, the main drag of that small Missouri town was the site of one of the most shocking and sensationalized crimes in American history, and its name is one that is now associated with a murky web of revenge, murder, lies, and intimidation. Skidmore. Skidmore Steve. Let me double check that. Skidmore. I'm gonna expect like a British person to pronounce this. Skidmore. Let's see. What the fuck is Skidmore? Let me just check on the old Google real quick. Okay, Skidmore College, Skidmore, Missouri, city in Nodaway County, Missouri. This place is called Nodaway. The population was 284 in the 2010 census. The small farming community has a yearly pumpkin show up until 2004. Oh no, the one thing they fucking had has been ripped from their culture. Those bastards. I can't even read that. Matrace13 with the 5 says for cake. Also, hi Joel. Thank you, Matrace. Or I don't know. I just can't read that. It's like MHTRECE 13. Thank you, thank you. Lemon Delights. Yeah, it's so funny. I'm like pretty good. I mean, I'm sure a lot of you, like, if you imagine a food, you can imagine the taste that you get with it. Like, and like, as you said, lemon cakes, I could just like fucking taste that in my mouth. Apple pie or pumpkin pie. Apple pie for sure. Gotta be hot. I guess it doesn't need to be hot, but it's preferable when it's fucking hot. Pumpkin pie, yes. But there's a degree, but like, I've seldom really enjoyed a pumpkin pie if it doesn't have cream on it. A little bit of cream. Well, not even a little bit, a lot of bit of fucking cream. Because it's good, but it's more of just like a, I don't know, like it's like a mush in your mouth for sure. But it like doesn't, like a lot of it doesn't have like, the taste is certainly not bad, but the recollection that I have of pumpkin pie's taste is that it's yummy, but it's not fucking like next level yummy, you know what I mean? The Easy Bake Oven, yeah. I think I always wanted that when I was younger, but I wasn't a girl, so I wasn't allowed. Oh, did someone say lemon cakes? And its name is one that is now associated with the murky web of revenge, murder, lies, and intimidation. Skidmore. The crime that made Skidmore famous occurred in July of 1981, but to properly tell the town's story, we have to go all the way back to June 1st of 1934, the day when a baby boy by the name of Ken Rex McElroy was brought into the world. Ken and his 15 brothers and sisters grew up in a small rundown house just outside of Skidmore, the son of a poor tenant farming couple named Tony and Mabel. For many years, they had traveled back and forth between the Ozarks and Kansas City, depending on where the work was. But after a while, they tired of the exhaustive, wandering lifestyle and Nodaway. This has got to be Nodaway. That's just such a fucking funny name for a place. Do you know the way? Yes, I know the way. Not away. Fuck, it's not away. I thought it was Nodaway. If I lived there, I would call it fucking Nodaway. Oh, warm peach cobbler with ice cream. Yeah, let's fucking go, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Skidmore, Texas? No, Skidmore, Missouri, baby. Of course, I wouldn't be surprised if there's many more. Have I tried churro cheesecake? I have not. That sounds fucking baller. Churro cheesecake, damn. Do you just put like the churro dust on it? I just imagine like someone like grating out a churro onto a cheesecake. That wouldn't be bad though. Jeremy Crow has become a mischievous dog and a member of the Buttersock cult. Welcome, everybody, welcome Jeremy. Please turn and greet your neighbor with a kiss. If you like there, you move. If you like there, you move. Joel, do you live on Long Island? No, I don't, no. I do find it funny, though, that, like, people's accents within New York City and the various precincts differ so greatly. It's very interesting. What's the weirdest food combination you had? I remember when I was younger, I was always really baffled about, like, chicken and waffles. Like, there was something... I think it was mainly because I thought, like, if you got waffles, you had to get syrup, right? So, when I heard chicken and waffles, I just thought, chicken and fucking syrup? Are you nuts? Are you fucking nuts? Mom, are you fucking nuts? Are you fucking nuts, Mom? Are you fucking nuts? And be like, oh, this is delicious. Thank you, Mother. Oh, God. Oh, God. I feel like that... Oh, man. That fucking story is just... I don't even know. Jesus Christ. Okay, anyways. Nodaway. For many years, they had traveled back and forth between the Ozarks and Kansas City, depending on where the work was. But after a while, they tired of the exhaustive wandering lifestyle and settled in Nodaway County. Ken's upbringing was troubled to say the least, and by the time he was 15, he had dropped out of the 8th grade to become a small-time thief and cattle rustler, and so began a criminal rampage that would last the better part of 20 years, with Ken allegedly dabbling in the theft of grain, gasoline, alcohol, antiques, and livestock. As a result of his criminality, Ken was arrested and charged on a whopping 21 occasions, but managed to dodge every conviction the law threw at him through a combination of shrewd practices and witness intimidation. Skidmore residents frequently complained that Ken would stalk those that sought to testify against him, parking outside their homes in a flagrant and menacing display. But Ken wasn't just a prolific criminal. He was also a prolific Chi! Chi-Chi! He's become a mischievous dog and a member of the Buttersock cult. Everybody say hello to Chi-Chi. We're still on Skidmore? Yep. We is. Story just started, pretty much. Yeah, is this lech? Is that a term? I've heard that. I heard it once in school, and I'm going to read it now. Ken was arrested and charged with the whopping. Ken was a prolific criminal. A lech, yeah, there it is. Sorry, I lost track of where I am. Where am I, mother? Where am I? Lech. That's not correct. That ain't right. Okay, real quick. Lech. Wait. A river. Wait, what? How come there's no definition? Leches. Intransitive verb. No, intransitive verb, sorry. Intransitive verb, lust. It's weird that they don't have a definition. This one. Wait, not craving. I think lech. Whatever. It sounds like a bad word. Whatever it might be. But Ken wasn't just a prolific criminal. He was also a prolific lech, rumored to have fathered more than 10 different children with around 4 or 5 different women. And it's this aspect of Ken's character that reveals him as not simply some small-town rascal with sticky fingers, but a deeply wicked and monstrous predator. Because horrifyingly, when Ken met his wife, Trina. Is it Trina? I think it's Trina. Trina McLeod. Trina, yeah. Lecher. Lech. No, not lech. It's like a lech. Short for lecherous. Pronounced lech. Thank you, Monty. Monty B. Basically a pervert. Okay. Thank you. Because horrifyingly, when Ken met his wife, Trina McLeod, in the late 1950s, she was just 12 years of age. For obvious reasons, Trina's family despised Ken and warned him to leave their daughter alone. Ken responded by driving over to the family home and executing their beloved foxhound with a single shell from his 12-gauge shotgun. When Trina's family held firm and attempted to keep their daughter safely out of Ken's reaches, he doubled down and set fire to their house in the middle of the night. Thankfully, Trina's family survived the arson attack, but they couldn't take any more. They finally relented and allowed Ken to date their underage daughter. Not long after, Trina came home unannounced. Announced. Jesus Christ. They just relented, like, all right, you almost killed all of us. Here's our daughter. Like, what the fuck? Would you not, go after him or something? It's weird as fuck. Not long after, Trina came home and announced she would be dropping out of school. She was pregnant with Ken's child. A shotgun wedding was held soon after. After the child was born, Trina was so afraid of her new husband that she attempted to escape to her parents' house. Roy just showed up at their door, racked a shotgun, and told them that if he wasn't reunited with his wife... Wait, Roy? Why the fuck did they write Roy? They mean Ken, right? Surrendered her to Ken, yeah. I think they... I don't know why they wrote Roy. Tres leches. Wait, what link didn't work? Oh, the Streamlabs one? Oh yeah, I think Fry, you the link that you put, it was connected into the word super chat or there, so it might have just like been weird. Shotgun wedding? Yeah, shotgun wedding is just like a really quick it's like a really quick wedding to like connect people, you know, it's not like a planned out thing, it's just like a get married in one day kind of thing, I get, or just like a quick situation. Ken just showed up at their door, racked his shotgun, and told them that if he wasn't reunited with his wife, the dead dog in the arson attack would look like child's play. When Trina's parents once again surrendered her to Ken, he shot the house up anyway. Ken was separated from Trina all over again in 1973 when he was arrested for arson and assault, and for a man with no visible sign of income, he was able to get his hands on the $2,500 bail cash very, very quickly. Meanwhile, while Ken was locked up, Trina and the baby were placed in a foster home over in Maryville, just 14 miles away. The authorities were confident that they were finally safe from Ken's clutches, but somehow he tracked them down anyway. The foster family were puzzled to see a man camped outside their home in his car, and reported that he just stared at their house all day until they finally went out to talk to him. But what he had to say absolutely horrified them. The man said his name was Ken Rex McElroy, and that the woman and child in their care were his. He told them that he could just walk up to their house, kill them both, and then walk out with what was his. Yet he claimed to be a reasonable man and proposed a trade. Girl for girl, McElroy supposedly... Girl for girl, McElroy supposedly said. When the foster asked him what he meant by that, Ken explained that he knew the name of their biological daughter, that he knew her school and the bus route she took to it. If he could get his girl back safe, they could get their girl back safe too. Trina was back living with Ken in a matter of days. The next few years were pretty quiet, evidence that Ken was trying to keep a low profile to avoid Trina and his child being taken away again. But only... Whoops. I'm so confused, like, where's the fucking law? I understand it's like the 1950s in a small-ass, you know, farming town, but you would imagine. But on July 27th, 1976, a farmer named Romain Henry heard gunshots echoing around his property. He tracked down the source of the gunfire in his tractor, only to find a half-drunk Ken Rex partaking in some target practice with his 12-gauge. Romain asked Ken Rex just what he thought he was doing, never once believing that Ken had it in him to turn the gun on a human being. But he was wrong. Ken turned on the spot, sized Romain up, Ken turned on the spot, sized Romain up, then let off a round of buckshot right at the cab of his tractor. The spray of lead chunks burst Romain's belly open like a piñata, and as Ken left him bleeding to death and far from a telephone, Romain was certain he was about to die. But by some miracle, a passing driver noticed the mortally wounded farmer slumped in his tractor seat and rushed to call the EMTs. Against all odds, Romain Henry survived the attack, and despite Ken Rex denying he was even at the scene, he was arrested and charged with assault with attempt to kill. Everyone in town knew he was guilty, yet the lack of actual eyewitnesses meant further evidence would have to be gathered in order to properly seek a conviction. Romain Henry later said that once he had recovered from his wounds and been discharged from the hospital, Ken Rex McElroy camped outside his home with a shotgun on his dash for 3 months. He stayed there every night, right up until the day of his trial. When Ken unveiled an unexpected alibi, 2 raccoon hunters he'd frightened into testifying on his behalf. What's more, Ken had somehow found the money to hire one of Kansas City's sleaziest but most accomplished defense attorneys, who discovered that Romaine had lied about a petty theft conviction from 30 years prior. To the shock and horror of everyone in Skidmore, the jury found McElroy not guilty, and he walked free that same day. McElroy's reign of terror continued for 5 more years, and the patience of Skidmore's residents began to reach breaking point. One incident saw Ken respond to an accusation of theft by driving into town with a World War II-era semi-automatic rifle. In front of a small crowd of gathered townsfolk, Ken attached a bayonet to the end of the rifle and threatened to butcher the next person who dared accuse his family of stealing. This was the straw that broke the camel's back. Perhaps it was seeing that bayonet, something purely made for war, that made the citizens of Skidmore realize that something had to be done about Ken Rex McElroy. But on the morning of July 10th, 1981, a handful of townspeople gathered in Skidmore's Legion Hall to decide how to protect themselves from McElroy once and for all. Only right as this meeting is going up... Monty B, with the 5. Thank you, sis. Thanks for all you do. You're welcome. Thank you for the 5. Appreciate that. Oh my God. Thank you. It was that damn Sasquatch. What are we talking about? I feel like sometimes I'm reading and I miss what the chat's talking about. You guys, I want to know what you're talking about. I want to be included. Who here going to sleep? Only right as this meeting is going on, who should roll down Main Street and park up in front of the small D&G Tavern but Ken Rex himself? Ken got out of his truck with his... Ken got out of his truck. Ken got out of his truck with his wife Trina, walked into the D&G, then sat smugly at a table while we ordered a beer. God, there's so many spelling errors here. Ken got out of his truck with his wife Trina, walked into the D&G, then sat smugly at a table while he ordered a beer. He was smug because he wasn't supposed to be there. The townspeople had warned him to keep away from Skidmore until the result of his court appeal, so Ken being there that day was an insult, an affront. And when word that Ken Rex was in town finally reached the Legion Hall, a chain of events was set in motion that could never be undone. By all accounts, Skidmore Sheriff Daniel Estes was everything you could wish for in a small-town police officer. He was a well-liked, well-respected Vietnam veteran who actually gave a damn. What's sleep, though? Good question. I don't even know. Paul, I'm sorry to hear that. I hope you figure it out. Have you ever gotten into a fight in school? I did, yeah, back in like fucking 7th grade. Shit's stupid. Fighting is stupid. Don't do it. Mainly fighting's stupid because it's just like it's not very controlled. It's just like raw emotion, and you always just end up looking like an idiot afterwards, no matter who. And you could potentially get really hurt too, you know. He was He was a well-liked, well-respected Vietnam veteran who actually cared about the community and justice. So when Sheriff Estes is asked about what happened that morning, there's every reason to believe he's telling the truth. And according to him, when the Legion Hall meeting heard McElroy was in town and suggested confronting him, he strongly advised them not to do so. He instead suggested they form some kind of neighborhood watch program, one that could liaise? What the fuck? Liaise? Is that liaise? The fuck is that? The fuck is liaise? Maybe like an intermediary. Chiefly British. Liaison. That's funny. Liaise. Was sent to Rome to liaise with the new government. To act as a liaison officer. Yeah, like an in-between. Ice cream carrot cake? Wait, is that where you're at? Is that how far behind you guys are? Joel, oh wait. No, you're, oh yeah. Joel got beat up for being a nerd. That's triggering me. Just kidding. I got swirlied, but my hair always looks so cool. Joel's a cool nerd. Thanks, dude. He instead suggested they form some kind of neighborhood watch program, one that could liaise with local police to ensure Ken's behavior was kept in track. But then, despite being faced with a potentially violent confrontation with a suspected attempted murderer, Sheriff Estes got into his police cruiser and drove out of town. Estes insists he was on an important police business, but others have suggested this was him giving the green light for what was to occur. With Skidmore's only sheriff now gone, those gathered in the Legion Hall gathered up their things and headed over to the D&G, where Ken Rex McElroy was still sat, sipping at the neck of a beer bottle. There was no immediate confrontation. Instead, the D&G began to slowly fill with customers, all keeping to themselves, all avoiding eye contact with the man who'd terrorized them for almost 30 years. Ken must have felt a smug satisfaction that morning. There he was, nursing a cold one, bold as brass, and no one had a thing to say about it. Ken finished his beer, took Trina by the arm, and walked her from the bar. But as he and his wife got into their truck, they noticed that many of the bar's occupants seemed to be leaving. What the fuck is swirly? You never heard of a swirly? I guess you weren't bullied like me. Why is his voice like a young Neo from The Matrix? Young Neo. My God. I'm Keanu Reeves, and I, am really good at acting. Warm banana bread with a little bit of butter on top. His voice does kind of sound like a young Neo, you're right, thank you. Young Neo. Neo. Morpheus. We must. Neo, we must. How does Morpheus sound? At last. At last. Neo. You are the chosen one. Morpheus. Fuck, that's pretty cool, dude. Righteous. How many more stories? There's this one and then one after this one. But they're long. They're like longer ones, it seems like. Let's Read's Excellent Adventure. But as he and his wife got into their truck, they noticed that many of the bar's occupants seemed to be leaving with them. In fact, they lined up behind Ken's truck, blocking him in as they stared him down. Then, as Ken started up his truck, a single shot rang out, smashing through the rear glass window of his truck and Then, as Ken started up his truck, a single shot rang out. Fuck, dude. This is weird that this happened in the 80s. Sorry, I'm just sitting down for a second. It's just weird that it happened in the 80s because it's like, how the fuck was there not justice served for like 30 fucking years against this dude? The fact that the town had to rise up against him like fucking Dracula is like makes it sound like it's some shit from medieval times. Like, it doesn't matter how big this or bad this guy is. Like, you could be 110 pounds soaking wet if you got a fucking rifle. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy, lemon zest. Joel hasn't said hi to me, and I'm Shad. What's Shad? Bro, you keep reading. Them voice crackles are sexy, thank you. But as he and his wife got into their truck, they noticed that many of the bar's occupants seemed to be leaving with them. In fact, they lined up behind Ken's truck, blocking him in as they stared him down. Then, as Ken started up his truck, a single shot rang out, smashing through the rear glass window of his truck and grazing the flesh of his neck. Ken must have let out a scream, something to alert those gathered behind him that the shot hadn't put him down, because what followed was a torrent of highly accurate gunfire that riddled McElroy but left his wife unscathed. Trina climbed out of the car. God damn it, man. Trina climbed out of the car, trembling and crying and stumbling towards the men who shot her husband to pieces. You killed him, she wailed, eyes wide with shock and disbelief. We did, one of them replied. Now get out of here, before we kill you too. But as you can imagine, Ken was hit several times, but the bullets that killed him were fired from one center-fire rifle and one .22 rimfire rifle. These are long rifles. A person can't just brandish one and have it gone unnoticed. But one of 46 potential witnesses, including Trina McElroy, not a single person was able to identify those that had fired their weapons that day. And it's also interesting to note that again, out of almost 50 people who'd heard or seen the shooting, not a single one called an ambulance. It was clear from the get-go that a homicide investigation conducted by local law enforcement was going to be problematic, for a number of reasons. As a result, the case was quickly handed over to the state police, who promised a swift and unbiased resolution to Ken's killing. But they too came back empty-handed, citing tight-lipped townsfolk and a distinct air of vigilante intimidation. One Skidmore resident even brazenly told investigators that, although he didn't witness the incident, McElroy needed killing. 3 years after Ken's murder, with police having made no progress in catching his killer, Trina McElroy filed a $5 million wrongful death lawsuit against the town of Skidmore and a man named Del Clement. Trina accused Del of committing, and if not masterminding, what she described as the lynching of her husband, an innocent man who was murdered on a hunch by cowards who wouldn't own up to it. Skidmore Town Council met with Trina, who agreed to an out-of-court settlement of $17,000 and 600 cents. 600 cents. Son of a bitch, what am I doing? You either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain. It's true, it's true. Oh, fuck. Vanessa, take care, take care. Skidmore Town Council met with Trina, who agreed to an out-of-court settlement of $17,600, but on the condition that the payment wouldn't imply guilt towards any party. Trina took the money and moved to Lebanon, Missouri, where she tried to leave a traumatic part of her life behind, while Skidmore residents were quick to assure outsiders that the settlement was made to avoid any costly legal fees that defending the accusation would incur. Others point to it as a clear sign of guilt. 17 grand to buy a man's life. 17 grand to make it all go away. It's almost been 40 years exactly since Ken Rex McElroy was executed by neighbors that he'd known all his life, and not a single person has been charged, tried, or convicted of his murder. What Ken Rex put the people of Skidmore through could frankly be described as hellish. He was violent, volatile, and he preyed on children, and when the once good and honest folks of Skidmore asked the law to protect them, the law failed them, spectacularly, on more than 20 different occasions. That's a terrifying concept, I think we can all agree. It sounds like some kind of Kafkaesque. Kafkaesque. Fucking Trina. What's bigger, 600 cents or $6? Well, one of them weighs more for sure. Well, I think she agreed to the 17,000 because she's like, my husband was a fucking deviant, you know. I mean, obviously over the course of, it sounds like she was just brainwashed from childhood to be in love with a monster, you know what I mean? And at that point, she's like, well, the monster's dead. Even though I'm grief-stricken to some degree, she probably realizes that law enforcement isn't going to help her, so she's like, let me just take the money and get the fuck out of here before they kill me too. My voice kind of reminds you of the guy from Anxiety War. What's that about? You think because he sucked, you don't think mowing him down was the right thing? I don't know, dude. It's the law of the jungle out there. It sounds like some kind of Kafkaesque nightmare detailing a crushingly inept state bureaucracy that allows monstrous crimes to go unpunished. But we could argue that there's another read of the McElroy murder, one that's considerably more frightening. And that's that the people around us, those we've known all our lives, could simply turn around and murder us in broad daylight before erecting a wall of silence so thick that it can enable a man to get away with murder. We're not held accountable by the law, we're held accountable by those around us, and either that's a very reassuring thought, or a distinctly terrifying one. Aren't all husbands deviants? That's kind of an inflamed statement, Chi-Chi. Is your husband Goku a deviant? The man who saved planet fucking Earth like 9 times from Cell and Frieza and the planet Namek? I think there's a reason you married him in the first place. Anxiety War is about a guy who oh. Interesting. I never, I'll have to check him out. Hey, you are more sweet or a spicy eater? Probably sweet, I think. I mean, I feel like I'm a little more... Oh no, Rebecca, I agree. I think that's part of the reason that played into her... What's that called where you, like, your captor, you become, like, in love with your captor? What is that called? Stockholm Syndrome. It sounded like, yeah, she developed some pretty severe Stockholm Syndrome where, even though he sounds like he's a fucked up, grooming, fucking sick bastard who hurts people and threatens, you know what I mean, all that terrible shit, you know, sounds like she was just straight up fell in love with her captor over a period of time, which, believe me, I don't know how that works, you know. Munchausen? Yeah, what is Munchausen? Is it the same thing? Munchauers? No, Munchausen. Munchausen syndrome is a factitious disorder wherein those affected feign no, that's the one you pretend to be sick. Feign disease, illness, or psychological trauma to draw attention, sympathy, or reassurance to themselves. No, I think that was the kid from It. Remember the kid from It had like something like that, or the mom would like force him to think that he was like sick all the time. That's when you poison people. Have I listened to the Gummy Bear album? No, I have not, no. Is a rare type of mental disorder in which a person fakes illness. I got confused. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I can see why. I mean, those do kind of sound similar in the sense of like, just they're just like weird words. Just weird words from Germany. All right. Oh, whoops. So, last story of the night. This one's about 4 pages long, so a little bit shorter than the last one. Liz, what the fuck are you talking about? When did I say that? Those pills are gazebos. Oh yeah. That was such a funny line from them. It was great. Honestly, I thought it was such a fucking good. Those were good movies. The remakes. City of Barbaroo, Sauk County, Wisconsin. City of Barbaroo. Or Baraboo. Who fucking knows? Baraboo. And Sauk County, Wisconsin. Soccer. English. Sock. Okay. Oh, you're talking to some other guy. See, when you at them, when you don't at me, I get confused. Or when you, don't at anybody, I get confused. I think you're having a conversation with me. But Joel, it is okay to eat onions on the first date. I mean, if you both do it, I feel like maybe you'll both like just feel like really gross, equally gross, and then not feel like insecure about each other and just make out like crazy, you know? Whatever, dude. Dog, you should start doing radio or something. Yeah, you know, really what it comes down to is just like I've had so much success here on YouTube because of you guys, and I'm so thankful for it, you know what I mean? That eventually I have to start thinking I only have so much time in the day, you know what I mean, to like chase after certain things. So it's like I got YouTube, the podcast to focus on. I guess I could try radio in some fashion, but I don't, that would be a complex process. I feel like I'd actually have to go into a radio station and be like, hello, I would like to participate in your distribution of musical songs from Wet Ass Pussy of Nicki Minaj to what's that chick? Megan the Stallion or some shit. Megan the Stallion. Megan the Stallion. Wait, was it Baraboo? Fuck. Jesus. Okay. The city of Baraboo is the largest city in Sauk County, Wisconsin. But with a population of little over 12,000 people, Baraboo has much more of a small town vibe, especially in comparison with the much larger Madison or Milwaukee. Named after the nearby Baraboo River, the town is home to the awkwardly named Circus World Museum, a building which was once the home of the Ringling Brothers Circus. The circus founder, Al Ringling, is perhaps Baraboo's most famous former resident, and a handful of streets and landmarks still bear his name. But Baraboo is famous in other circles for entirely different reasons, as the town was also the home of a young man whose horrifying crimes earned him the chilling nickname of the Bone Breaker. Sorry, I feel like that almost sounded like a cool, like, true crime intro. Oops. I went to, like, stretch my leg and I, kicked something. What kind of music do I like? Really anything. Like, I love... What do I love? I mean, I love, like, stuff that's sort of, like, I love the chill, you know, that chill hop stuff. You see that everywhere. I love, if you ever listen to, like, Ryan Celsius sounds, it's almost like trap hip-hop remixes and shit. Like, the hip-hop trap, not, like, the EDM trap. But EDM, you know, like, I like EDM shit. I like liquid D&B stuff. I mean, I appreciate all genres of rock. Like, I'm not really big into pop music, like the really big poppy stuff, like that fucking like. I was going through Dunkin' Donuts, and for whatever reason, they had like Ziggy Azalea's like "I'm so flossy," and I was really honestly contemplating just fucking leaving because I fucking hate that song. So I hate that style of song where it's just like. I don't know. It's like specifically made for like a dance club so people can like sip on their, little mixed drinks and like, like boop their hands in the air. Like, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Fuck yes. Oh my God. This is supposed to be a triple shot and I don't even feel it. Do I like house music? I do like house music. Yes. Aphex Twin. Boards of Canada Lo-Fi. What's that? Vord Husband? Sounds like Corpse Husband. Do I like dark ambient? I do like dark ambient. Obviously I use dark Cthulhu Apocalypse, but like I don't really have a lot of uses for dark ambient because I'm very much affected by like the mood of the music, so like I don't really know when I have uses for a dark ambient song outside of the content that I make, Kruder, Dorfmeister Sessions, Amelia soundtrack for classical. Yeah, a lot of good music out there. A lot of good shit. You like pop, or you like punk, jazz, rap music. Nice, yeah. It's more, yeah, no. It's just more of like a, yeah. Did we go to the same club, Spaceman? I mean, I don't know. I just don't really like those like top 40 hits. Like sometimes some of them will be like catchy, you know what I mean? Like I used to, for like a hot minute, whenever I found out that like Grimes was dating what's his name? Fucking Elon Muskington, elongated muskrat. Like I really like a lot of like her shit, but then and like some of the stuff that like deviates towards its like more poppy sensation, like I still like it, you know what I mean? But at the same time, there's some of her shit that I really don't fucking like. I mean, it just depends on the mood. Like, and I'm sure you guys have very eclectic. Oh, you like chiptune, like Tokyo Machine? Nice. Chiptune is cool. Mystical making a new album. Yeah, like the person that plays my outro song at the end of this stream is a guy named Kettle, who surprisingly has responded to like my DMs, which is always really nice of him over the course of years. So it's like, that's such a cool thing for an artist to do, you know what I mean? But if you ever listen to Kettle, like the album that last song that I do my outro with, that you might really enjoy, it's from the album called My Dogen. So it's all like Denmarky. Yeah, Ochre. Yeah, Ochre's very good, and I always get like updates from Bandcamp about Ochre. Death Cab for Cutie. Yeah, I don't mind Death Cab. Favorite Grimes song? I guess Genesis just sticks out to me the most, but Oblivion, those kind of fucking songs, you know what I mean? They're all like pretty cool. What was the one where it's like so heavy, I'm falling, Yeah, Modest Mouse is good. You really like Ashniko? I don't think I've heard of them. There used to be a period of Odessa is good. I remember like I went on like a little bit of a road trip and I just listened to an Odessa station and it was great. It's a great experience. Yeah, Grimes Violence, the Violence remix by that I.O. guy who I think died recently, which is sad, but that was fucking good. Yeah, I went to a Tool concert actually, believe it or not. I went to a Tool concert in, where the fuck did we go? Was it Philly or Pittsburgh? I don't fucking remember. It was some place, but that was pretty sick. I mean, I'm not like a massive Tool fan, but it was my buddy was really into him and invited me along, so I'm like, fuck it. Yeah, I saw Arctic Monkeys live at a like a rock, or no, it was just like what was the festival? It was called Firefly back in like 2014. That was sweet. 8-bit music is good. I love it all. We have Pearl Jam rocks. Jazz is one of my favorites. Like, I love jazz-inspired hip-hop. That's why, one of my favorite hip-hop groups is Diggable Planets. If you ever listen to Diggable Planets, they are the fucking shit. And the bee's knees all at the same time. I'm a true hippie, sure. Sure. You smell like poo-poo. I know, dude. I got it from rolling in shit like you. No, I'm just kidding. Pumped up kicks. Okay. How the fuck do you say this was Baraboo? Baraboo. Jesus. Okay. But Baraboo is famous in other circles for entirely different reasons, as the town was also the home of a young man whose horrifying crimes earned him the chilling nickname of the Bonebreaker. On the 4th of July, 1994, 14-year-old Christopher Steiner's parents came home to find his bedroom empty. Chris didn't say he was planning on going anywhere, nor had he left a note explaining where he'd gone. His parents were only mildly concerned at first, but once they discovered muddy shoe prints that led from outside his bedroom window and into his room, they began to panic. Even an amateur detective could deduce that someone had walked up the muddy front path of the house, climbed the roof, then somehow gotten into Chris's bedroom. Police determined that the best-case scenario was that Chris had simply run away from home and would be back home shortly. Chris's parents denied he was the type to do that and refuted any suggestion that tensions at home were to blame. On the other hand, if there was some kind of hostile home invasion, Chris could have escaped the intruder before getting himself lost in the woods. Laura Peterston with the 150. Thank you. Much love back to you. Appreciate that. You're doing a huge tribute painting to Mac Miller right now? Oh, that's cool. Beautiful Child, Fleetwood Mac. Yeah, Fleetwood Mac is sweet. Blue Balls is a bone breaker? What is that? I never heard of that. Is that a band? Hey, Joel, mi amigo, ¿cómo está? How's my little buddy Pradeep? He is great. He's not in the room currently. Actually, he might be waiting outside, patiently like a good little boy. Let me let him in. Yes, Incubus is one of my favorites back in the day. I guess not. Okay. Cancel that. I thought he would be out there, but he was not. They're like Guar. Yeah, there's some pretty funny videos of Guar, like when they were on, what's that show with Bam Margera that my roommate showed me, where like the guy from Guar goes up into like Phil and Ape's room and he's like, everybody doesn't like me, and he's like, oh, what? They're like confused and like, I'm sure they're your friends. And he's like, they're not my real friends. It's just like this disgusting like monster, man. I don't even know. Your voice is very soothing, mate. Hope all is well with you. Thank you, Creepypasta Explained. What kind? You do make videos where you explain different like creepypasta monsters and stuff? Joel orders some Domino's. I think it's too late, to be honest. I wouldn't mind it, though. On the other hand, if there was some kind of hostile home invasion, Chris could have escaped the intruder before getting himself lost in the woods just outside of town. The horrifying alternative was that the intruder's goal wasn't to pilfer the family's valuables, but to take Chris himself as his prize. For each day that passed since their son's disappearance, Chris's parents' hope waned steadily. But even as they edged toward a grim acceptance of his fate, hearing the news that Chris's dead body had been found broken? Greetings from Venice Beach, California. Greetings, bro. Greetings. Mahalo. Bruce, you can't promote your Instagram here, silly boy. You will get put on timeout, naughty man. Sorry. Even if you do promote your stuff here, it's like it always goes, like YouTube automatically blocks it so people don't spam that kind of stuff. As I'm sure you understand why. Also, like, I don't know. Just go make some good content. You don't need to, like, wait, cheese stuffed crust Domino's? Do they have that now? What the fuck? I didn't know they had stuffed crust at Domino's. My friend would always be like, we got it from Domino's Pizza. It's a local place. It's called Domino's.
Hey, listen.
Angie Gibson with the 5 says, thank you and good morning. Good morning. Thank you, Angie. Hope you're doing well. Absolute Mad Lad says penis. Nice. I can agree with that. Still lockdown? I think a lot of places in the United States have peeled back various regulations, and it depends state to state. Around here, no, not lockdown. Very lenient. Obviously the various precautions are still in play for everyone, and but no, yeah, businesses are rocking and rolling. My buddy works at a restaurant. He was very excited because they had returned to 75%, occupancy, because previously he got fucked over hard because he used to get like a shit ton of overtime, and then suddenly, like, they're cutting back on the menu. They're they don't have enough people in there. They're cutting back hours. You know what I mean? Like, it just hurt him very severely financially. So he was happy when things are starting to move back towards normal. Anyway, I don't want to talk about that. Shit's stupid. Moving on. But even as they edged towards a grim acceptance of his fate, hearing the news that Chris's dead body had been found broke them. A member of the public had stumbled across his corpse, caught in some tree roots along a bank of the Wisconsin River. Shit. A member of the public has stumbled across his corpse, caught in some tree roots along a bank of the Wisconsin River. Chris was then transported for autopsy, with a coroner declaring that the cause of death clearly was drowning. However, the circumstances surrounding his death, be they accident or otherwise, remained a mystery. A huge part of the coroner's job is determining not just the cause of someone's death, but also the mechanism and manner of their death too. For example, the cause of death might be strangulation, but the mechanism details the physiology behind it, such as oxygen deprivation, whereas the manner of death tends to fall into one of 4 classifications: natural, accidental, them taking their own life, or homicidal. But in cases such as Chris Steiner's, the manner of death is considered undetermined. Some have stated that around 15% of deaths in the United States occur in a manner that is classed as undetermined, and so there exists a haunting void of knowledge surrounding their passing, a gap in a timeline, a lost hour, so that we might never understand just how their final moments on this earth came about. Perhaps just as tragic as it is terrifying, most cases of undetermined death simply turn cold and are filed away in some archive somewhere as an unsolved mystery. And this is exactly what happened with Chris's death. Although no one in his family could work out how he drowned, forensic investigators could detect no signs of foul play. So, since it wasn't listed as a homicide, there was no search for a killer, and the case was never solved. 1 year passes in Baraboo, and although Chris's death is not forgotten, the town... Sorry, that sounded weird. There's actually a boba pizza in Japan, like Boba Fett. One year passes in Baraboo, and although Chris's death is not forgotten, the town's residents are finally beginning to coalesce with the circumstances of its passing remaining a mystery. around 10 p.m. on the night of July 20. Damn, dude. Is this still Barabo? Barabo. I gotta turn this fucking... Jesus Christ. For some reason, this guy recorded it with his mic, recorded like he's playing a Let's Play and like screaming. Do I make mystery videos like Nexpo? Well, most of it's like true crime or like first-hand experiences that people have had. I have done unsolved internet mysteries, about 2 volumes of that, I believe, if you guys search that on my channel, which are pretty cool. I like those videos, but it's difficult to come across those topics, you know what I mean? Because they're a little bit less frequent than, you know, true crime stuff. Hydrate or dihydrate people? True. Let me do that real quick. Question. So like I recently got, and this is not a promotion or anything like that, I'm just curious, like I saw a very superficial marketing process from the Liquid Death Mountain Water, where it's essentially water in a can, right? Everybody's got bottled water. This is water in a can. And their sort of thing is like whenever you recycle, apparently the process of recycling cans is a lot easier than recycling water bottles, where water bottles don't tend to be profitable to recycle, whereas cans, I guess, are easier and more profitable. So a lot of the times, even though you think you're recycling water bottles, they end up, in their words, in landfills. Can anyone confirm or deny this? Because I am curious if like water bottles are recyclable, or if aluminum cans are more recyclable, or neither are. You know what I mean? I'd like to know the truth about that. But Fearsome Hero, good night. Thank you. Sleep tight. See you in the Discord sometime, hopefully. Another great YouTuber like you is Horror Stories. He covers true crime stories, brief but good, kind of true crime commentary. Nice, Jason. Check that out. Scary Stories from the Hood. Yeah, that would be cool. You know. Apparently all our plastic is actually causing brain damage. I remember like hearing I remember like hearing on Reddit, and this is, you know, I didn't really dig into it too deep, but they basically said that like some aspects of plastic were found in some fetal cells, which I thought was really weird. Like imagine like developing in the womb, and the microscopic plastic like literally is in your fetal cells. Like that's pretty fucking weird. Cans are way more recyclable. Yeah, actually a lot of recycling ends up in landfills, an alarming amount. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, is like I've always been curious about those processes, because like, you know, we sort of like passively participate in the process of recycling by finishing our bottles and throwing the cap in the trash, but then we throw the plastic into the orange recycling bin, and we set it out and we feel good about ourselves, or whatever the fuck, you know, or you put it in the appropriate bin. But at the same time, like, we're not actively involved in whatever process supposedly happens afterwards. So I wouldn't be surprised if, you know, whatever local government doesn't just like dump your shit out in a big pile of like seagulls somewhere, you know what I mean? All the plastic in the oceans. Oh, right, yeah, and the plastic ends up in like fucking tuna, and you eat that tuna or some shit. I don't know. I'm like a half-assed hippie, you know what I mean? I don't know shit about shit. I just like am mildly interested. Let somebody else do the footwork. Single-use plastics. That's so interesting. I always thought it would just be like as simple as like, you know, fucking melting shit down, you know? Scary MySpace stories. I actually do have MySpace stories on the channel. Pretty recent ones, too. Get more stalker, movie theater, cinema stories. Ah, that'd be, yeah. Hugo, you're leaving. Peace out, Hugo. Have a good one. crackling fire with my voice would be next level. That would be sick, actually. I for a while thought to do something very similar to Being Scared, where just for like a video I do like raining, you know, it's like raining at night or some shit stories, and I include some sort of raining audio in the background. Single-use sheepskin, there you go. For condoms. As he cracks a canned water, yeah, let's go. It's weird though, because as you drink it, I don't know, you sort of expect to taste something else and not fucking water. Do I do YouTube for a living? I do, yeah, this is me, Jorb. Do you like orcas, Joel? Just curious. Yeah, orcas are fucking cool. Except there's one documentary called like Blackfish. Well, you know what's crazy is like watching that documentary about Blackfish, which was about the SeaWorld orcas and the one that Tillicum who killed like 3 trainers, which is crazy. You know, apparently they're very like they're a creature in the wild that's never attacked humans in the wild, which I find to be really interesting. And apparently like people have fallen out of boats and like orcas will come up and fucking like help save them and shit, and the like wild animals will come up and like save you. And I'm like, I can kind of understand why like a native culture that observes wild orcas would kind of consider them to almost be like spiritual beings, you know. Yeah, Blackfish was a crazy document. It was crazy, honestly. How long ago did he start? Did who start? You know a friend that paid a person to offer services in Fiverr and had live hidden camera where he told him all answers using a concealing earbud. We sub her style. Wait, what are you talking about? You know a friend that paid a person that offers services in Fiverr and had live hidden camera where he told him all answers using a concealing earbud. We study. What are you talking about? Like school, like homework? Like told him all the answers to a test or some shit? What are you talking about? Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. In Spicia. Do a live stream from a haunted house. Honestly, I'm fucking terrified of haunted houses. And I know people say like, dude, you should go to here. I hear it's like haunted. Or like, go to Gettysburg, it's haunted. Like, fuck that, dude. I don't want to be around ghosts. It's fucking scary as shit. Like, it's scary, like literally scarier than going in a fucking prison. Maybe not quite as much, but like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, I don't want to be spooked. It's not fucking fun. They're not whales at all. They're basically big-ass dolphins. Oh, okay. Like, as far as, like, their evolutionary line or whatever. Someone say Fiverr shows feet chat. All. You had a marine biologist tell me that most marine creatures don't see us as food because our salt content is too high. Interesting. That's weird. You think the saltwater creatures would be filled with salt. The fact that we only know 10% of the ocean is crazy because we still don't know what's down there. True. Could be all mermaids. You'll hold my hand. Thank you, Liz. So don't get scared. The Stanley Hotel. Dude, I don't know. I just don't want to fucking, like... I literally, like, generate ghosts in my head in my own fucking place. In my own place, you know, doesn't even have issues. That's as far as I'll say. But, like, you know, I'm just a spooky cat. You know what I mean? That'd be a funny YouTube channel, Spooky Cat. I don't know. We study cybersecurity. I'm still working on my bachelor's, to be honest, and I'm considering doing that, passing all exams, paying $30 a guy from other country. Okay. Well, I guess now that online school, you can just cheat from home, right? I know, that's not fair. Sea creatures? What? Sea creatures wouldn't eat me? That's bullshit. Oh, a ghost in the deep ocean. That would be interesting. You were in the Stanley's lobby. It's actually very beautiful. Oh yeah, I did go to Colorado and I passed by it, but I saw it from like a distance or something. Like the road we passed was just like we didn't actually get out and look around. Home videos exist of orca interaction with domestic dogs along shoreline. Must be a deep shoreline. Yeah, potentially like a drop off or some shit, or you know what I mean? Like sometimes there's like erosion from whatever water currents going through there. Chicken strip, sleep tight. Don't let the chicky strips bite. Mermaid ghosts. You hate dolphins, dude. They're awful animals. Fuck them. You know, maybe. Do I watch rom-coms? I mean, if it's funny, like it just has to be funny. Like I love comedy movies, so I don't, you know, and most comedy movies tend to have some sort of romance to them. I just feel like I much prefer them to like lean towards the comedy aspect rather than like, you know, the romance. Not that there's an issue with that, but like what the fuck's it called? What's that channel where like every fucking movie is about Christmas and finding like the perfect 40-year-old man who's somehow like still single, has six-pack abs, hair, and like is willing to accept you post-divorce type. You know what I'm talking about? Those fucking True Hollywood, I don't know, rom-coms. Whatever the fuck that channel is. Hallmark. Yeah, all those fucking Hallmark movies. Get them the fuck out of my face. I never want to watch that bullshit ever. I hate that stuff. Because it's such a fucking lie. I don't know. How do I feel about DN? What's DN? Where's the baby? Let's go. Let's read his cellas. Undercover. Arsenic, nice. Yeah, keep your immune system up. Hope you're doing well. I'm the perfect 40-year-old man. I mean, I will be one day. 10 more years, we'll be there. I do hope to be married in, 10 years. I think it'd be nice. Even though I'm sure everybody says fucking they hope to be something one day, but it is what it is. Joel Salty doesn't have six-pack abs and hair. Shut the fuck up. Just because I have a fucking 12-pack. Shadow of the Colossus. Yeah, I fucking love Shadow of the Colossus. One of my favorite games. Ico is the prequel to that. Well, not prequel necessarily, though I think they're loosely connected. But Ico is more, Ico was a very unique experience for me whenever I was playing demos of PlayStation 2 at like Walmart and shit when I was younger. And you just like... I got to play a demo of it, and it was just so cool. It's just such a cool stylized thing. I remember like the Ico game, Eco or whatever the fuck it's called. It was one of the first games that to me I'd ever seen where like if you were kind of like standing on a surface like steps or something, or say you were standing up on like a surface that like was a little bit elevated and like off center. Like your character would have one leg down on the one surface, and then just like the physics of it would like bend your character's knee to be up on the other surface. And I remember that shit always like kind of impressed me as a kid. Like I always noticed like little stupid shit in video games to see how far they've come. Ico is the prequel? Okay, Eco. At least I got a fat ass, thanks. Let's read your 30 years ago. I am 30 years ago. I'm old news. Guns Akimbo. I've never seen Guns Akimbo. When are we playing games? Gabriella, I don't fucking know. I literally, like, I remember last stream you mentioned it, and I was like, join the fucking Discord, and then you never... I'm fairly certain you never came into the Discord, so... Am I a Billie Eilish fan? I don't know, honestly. I mean, like, I like her eyes. She's got pretty blue eyes and face. But I don't really know her music or anything like that. Oh yeah, the remake for Shadow of the Colossus. Yeah, those graphics are fucking nutty, and that game is amazing. But I got what's the one that's after that, like Guardian something I think it's Guardian. I don't know. You control like you're a smaller kid, but you like control a big, catbird bullshit thing or whatever. And it's weird. It's like a puzzle game, but it's just like weird because even if you think you know the answer to the puzzle, imagine like trying to get your cat to go where it needs to go IRL to like solve a puzzle, but you had no real like actual control over it, you know what I mean? Sucker for blue eyes. Billy has an eyelash. How can I not know Billie Eilish music? I don't know. I mean, I know who she is, and I think I've heard of it. I just like haven't really given a shit to listen to it, I guess. I don't know. You know, The Last Guardian. Yeah, sorry. Thank you. Or maybe I did listen to it at some point, and I just was like, all right, anyways. You know, because like, am I Dr. Creepin'? I just might be. Am I going to play Resident Evil Village? I think so. I think I'm going to try it. At the very least, I know for a fact Robin in the Discord is... Right, yeah, like I'm not a Billie Eilish fan because I'm a 30-year-old man, you know? So it's like... I'm not a 14-year-old girl. I'm not saying that you can't be older and like her or whatever. I'm just saying, like, I don't really fit her demographic or whatever. Imagine Dragons. I don't really know any Imagine Dragons music either. Would you marry someone with brown... Yeah, no, I like all eyes. I just think Billie Eilish's face is very like, you know, it's very unique and pretty. You know what I mean? I'm just saying that because that's the only thing I know about her. Like other than that, that's all I fucking know. And I think she did an interview one time with like Dwight from The Office, Rainn Wilson, which I thought was cool, but I didn't really watch it. Does Joel have a second channel? I had a Let's Read ASMR channel with like 4 videos, if you're ever into like ASMR. Imagine dragging these nuts across your face. Now that I can get into. There you go. She does have a beauty, yeah. Oh, fuck you, Liz. I'm sorry. I don't fucking know. People are asking me questions. Like, I'm just throwing shit out there. What music do I listen to? We did a whole like thing about music earlier. We were just talking about a bunch of fucking shit. Believer? Like Justin Believer? Alright, holy ball sack. Let's finish this fucking story. Baraboo, okay. One year passes in Baraboo, and although Chris's death is not forgotten, the town's residents are finally beginning to coalesce with the circumstances of his passing remaining a mystery. Around 10 p.m. on the night of July 28, 1995, 13-year-old Baraboo middle schooler Thad Phillips went to bed after an exhausting day of school, but excited for the weekend to come. But as Thad was awoken later that night and groggily felt himself being picked up from the TV room couch, he assumed it was one of his parents taking him up to bed after he had fallen asleep in front of the television. Instead, the boy began to feel the cold night air on the skin of his cheeks. He was still half asleep when whoever was carrying him set the boy down on his feet before whispering 3 short words to him. "Run with me." They had no idea, not they. Kendrick Lamar. I do like Kendrick Lamar. I really like, his initial, album that made him really popular. What was it? Section 8? No, what the fuck was it? Let me check real quick. Because I fucking loved when Kendrick Lamar, first blew up. That was pretty sick. Albums. Motherfucking Ham. Oh, yeah, wait, no, not Damn. Wasn't a huge fan of Damn, or I don't really recall much of it. Yeah, discography. We got here, Section 8. Oh, yeah, Good Kid, Mad City. That was the shit. And To Pimp a Butterfly. That was also a great album, because I thought the cool thing about To Pimp a Butterfly is that it was, so poetic and, I guess, jazz influenced, which I thought was cool. And I kind of liked how at the end of every track it sort of, had an expanding, overarching theme, which, I don't know, it was just a very, impressive piece of art, you know? And Damn, I suppose, returned to more of, the sort of popularized rap influence. And there was a few good ones. We Gonna Be Alright, or whatever, and stuff like that. But I don't think it really, grasped me quite the same way. Kendrick or J. Cole. J. Cole has some good stuff too. I can't say I follow him quite as much as I did Kendrick at the time, though. I did. What's the one where he's like, oh yeah, my neighbors think I'm selling dope. Motherfucker, I am. And I don't know, was that J. Cole? I hope so. I don't know. Just so I'm still here. I'm just being ignored in the corner. Wait, ignored by me? What are you asking me? I didn't see your name pop up. Missy and or Mister. I'm trash at Discord. I'll try to catch you on there next time you're playing. I don't know. Do you mean on Discord? Because I literally, that's the only place you'd be able to like catch me. Like actually catch me, you know what I mean? Because I'm the motherfucking gingerbread man, bro. The Discord man. Do I like Pitbull? You know, it has its uses. Mr. Worldwide. I don't know. Pitbull's like more of a meme to me, you know what I mean? Like, it's just kind of like a meme music where you hear him and like then you look at your friend and you go, Mr. Worldwide, and that's pretty much all you do and you move on with your life. But Tyler the Creator, I love Tyler the Creator. I loved what was that one album? Scumfuck. That was fucking sweet. And then the more recent one, like Igor, I think it was. That one was sweet. A lot of good stuff from Tyler. His older stuff, that stuff's good too. Like, but I kind of like the more complex like beats and composition. Quaff the Raven, Nevermore. Yes, on Discord. Okay, cool. Yeah, if you guys come on a Discord, I kind of feel awkward sometimes when people sort of like lurk and just like listen, because it's like, I don't know. I feel like if people do that, I might even just move them down to the AFK area, because it's just strange. Like I get people listen here, you know what I mean, but listening in a more intimate environment is just like uncomfortable sometimes. Tyler, Igor was the last show I went to. Oh, well, yeah, that sounds pretty recent though. But yeah, hopefully you get to go to another show soon. I told you guys about the time I saw Tyler. I said hi to Tyler, the Creator, at LAX, and that was interesting. I didn't expect to like be like fangirl like that, but it just like overtook me. I'm like, oh my god, it's Tyler, the Creator. Oh my lord. Thad had no idea who it was, but in his confused and disoriented state, did as he was told, and it wasn't until he was fully awake and present at a rotten old 2-story home about a mile away that Thad realized he might have gotten himself in a whole lot of trouble. After getting a good look at the man he had run away with from home, it dawned on Thad that he'd never seen the man before in his life. When asked who he was, the man replied, "I'm Joe," before dragging young Thad into an upstairs bedroom. Before he could ask any more questions, Thad was pushed into a filthy, soiled mattress, after which Joe grabbed one of his feet and began to vigorously twist his ankle. Thad screamed so loud that distant neighbors a half-mile away later said they heard what sounded like a pig being slaughtered. Joe twisted and wrenched at the boy's ankle until it snapped and splintered, and both heard the sickening crunch of shattered bone ends. Jesus Christ. Jesus fucking Christ. Like, what if this is like a fucking nightmare, dude. Anna Cecilia with the... that's the Swedish crooner. Thank you. Good morning. Hope you're doing well. God, dude. I don't know why. Like, this fucking story and then the microwave story, like, shit that involves, like... It's just fucking... Oh, man, it's, like, hard to even read. Like, that just seems like such a like a creepy pasta, like one of those, like, what the fuck's that guy that puts you in his, like, Krampus? Like, Krampus literally fucking stole this kid. Like, this is like a real life fucking Krampus, man. Aura, take care. I think he took him to like an abandoned house or some shit. But just imagine, like, being a little fucking kid and like what the fuck? You just get your fucking ankle slowly twisted. Like, Jesus Christ. Holy fudgers. Okay. This is some pretty grisly shit. Thad screamed so loud that distant neighbors a half-mile away later said they heard what sounded like a pig being slaughtered. Joe twisted and wrenched at the boy's ankle until it snapped and splintered, and both heard the sickening crunch of shattered bone ends grinding together. Yet somehow, imbued with the pure spirit of survival, the half-crippled Thad managed to fight his way out of Joe's grip and attempted to limp downstairs and out the door to freedom. But Joe was fast. He pushed Thad down the last third of the staircase, relishing the sickening thud and grunting expulsion of wind as the boy landed. Furious at the unexpected escape attempt, Joe approached the prostrate Thad, who was lying on his stomach on the splintered wooden floorboards. He took his left leg in his grip and forced his foot up towards his head, leaning in until Thad's femur snapped with a nauseating crack. Jesus fucking Christ. Donuts or cinnamon rolls? I don't even know, man. This is like uncomfortable to read. Jesus fucking Christ. What the fuck? Who is this monster of a person? Like, I don't even know. He took his left leg in his grip and forced his foot up towards his head, leaning in until Thad's femur snapped with a nauseating crack. The torturous abuse carried on long into the night, but bizarrely, once Joe seemed to be satisfied with the crippling agony he'd inflicted, he actually cleaned the boy's wounds, then patched up his broken leg with a crude mix of ace bandages, textile glue, and socks. And once he was certain that Thad was no longer a flight risk, Joe left his victim alone on the grubby, stained mattress and simply disappeared. But as it turned out, even having suffered the most horrific physical injuries, Thad Phillips was not ready to lay down and die. In an inspirational show of bravery and fortitude, young Thad found an old, heavy guitar and battered the bedroom door down with it. Crippled, dehydrated, and weakened, he then slowly and painfully dragged himself down the stairs, passing out repeatedly from pain and fatigue until he reached the kitchen phone. Thad managed to shake the cord until the receiver fell from the hook. He grabbed it and dialed 911, explaining the nightmare that he had endured to a horrific police. Yeah, man, I don't know. This fucking story, like, when people ask me, like, what stories stick with me, I like, when people ask me, like, what stories, like, fuck me up the most, I feel like it's these ones that involve, like, young kids and shit. It's just, like, so fucking scary and sad and God. Yeah, this is like a true crime story, so this is true. As far as I know. Fucking Jesus Christ. Called, like, what do they call them? The fucking Baraboo, Sauk County, Wisconsin, and this guy is known as the Bone Breaker. Jesus fuck, dude. Oh my God, dude. Like, can you imagine being a like, this is like, you have to imagine you're in a fucking nightmare, man. Like, you're in a fucking nightmare, and then he just leaves you there. Like, what do you even do? What the fuck, man? Oh. God. I don't know why this is getting to me. I mean, you can understand, but at the same time, it's just like, normally I'd read so much shit, but this one is just like, I don't know. He grabbed it and dialed 911, explaining the nightmare he had endured to a He grabbed it and dialed 911, explaining the nightmare he had endured to a horrified police dispatcher who promptly sent over the nearest police patrol unit. Officers quickly responded and rescued a terrified Thad before Joe could return to do more damage. By that time, he had been held prisoner and sporadically tortured for almost 2 days straight, and the wounds that Joe had inflicted resulted in fractures that would require several surgeries to fix, and even then, Thad was cursed to walk with a permanent limp. Using the detailed description given to them by Thad, police officers were able to track down the Joe that had kidnapped him. Joe turned out to be a 17-year-old high school student by the name of Joe Clark, and Thad claimed that during his torture sessions, his captor would boast of having done the exact same things to 2 other boys. The cops asked if Joe had dropped the names of any of these boys, and after a few moments of thought, Thad spoke. Chris. He said the kid's name was Chris. While one of the cops ran Chris's name through the missing persons database to see if there were any local matches, another team of police led an intensive search of Joe Clark's home, and what they discovered was truly horrifying. In Joe's bedroom was a notebook with 3 lists, all written in his handwriting that included the names of 18 local boys. Their headings were Get To Now, Can Wait, and Leg Thing. These were apparently referencing the urgency with which he wanted to kidnap each victim and what he wanted to do with them once they were his prisoner. Only then did it become evident just how significant Thad's escape had been, because if he hadn't alerted law enforcement to Joe's terrifying kill list, there really is no telling how many victims Clark would have claimed. Police discovered that the pathologist who had examined Chris Steiner in the aftermath of his death had found no sign of injury. Nevertheless, the case had been mysterious and the body had been bloated from being in the water. The pathologist could have overlooked something. It was only then that police learned that no x-rays had been taken. There was only one way to discover whether Chris Steiner had been subjected to the same bizarre treatment that Thad had endured, and thus to link the 2 crimes to a single perpetrator. Police would have to exhume Chris Steiner's remains. In other words, they had to reopen his grave, remove the casket in which he lay, open it up, and remove the body for a closer examination. Once this was done, the forensic pathologist went over the small boy once again, and this time, armed with more information, he identified 4 separate breaks in Chris Steiner's legs. It was apparent that that boy had been thrown into the water in this condition. He could not have used his legs to swim, and could easily have drowned, as he actually did. Coupled with the details of Thad's torture and Joe's apparent penchant for crippling his victims, the conclusion was obvious. Joe Clark first appeared in court over his attack on Thad Phillips and entered a plea of no contest to attempted homicide, among other charges. He was sentenced to 100 years in prison. What the fuck? Holy shit, dude. This is fucking nuts. This guy was 17. 17. Oh my god, it's just... I don't know. This story reminds me of Up, bro. That's like... Oh my god. You're fucking heartless. Jesus Christ. 17! How do you end up like Jesus Christ? He used to dig up corpses. He inspired modern horror as we know it. Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Psycho. This kid did? Jesus fuck. There are still unidentified victims of the Bonebreaker killer? Jesus. How could you just... Like, what the fuck, man? It's fucking... I don't know. I don't know why this... It's just like... I've heard so much shit, but for some reason, just like... Imagining a high school kid just one day waking up that I'm gonna kidnap other younger kids and just fucking do undespicably monstrous things to them. Like, it's just... What in the fuck? I know. I don't know. Holy shit. He was sentenced to a 100-year prison term, but claims to have no recollection of the Thad Phillips abduction and torture. However, the Chris Steiner case was a very different story, and Joe pled not guilty, though an exhumation of Steimer's body had revealed that the sustained injuries to his ankles that were identified. Shit. However, However, the Chris Steiner's case was a different story, and Joe pled not guilty, though an exhumation of Steiner's body had revealed that the sustained injuries to his ankles that were identical. Have you seen the story about the 8-year-old serial killer? Was that in the UK or something like that? I might recall, because I feel like I remember talking about some pretty young... Ayo, can you take cold medicine just to sleep? I haven't slept in 36 hours because of an awful sunburn, so I can't really lie down. Please help. Sometimes it has, like, some cold medication has Benadryl in it that will make you drowsy. Like if you're familiar with like ZQuil. Basically it has Benadryl in it that will make you feel, it's usually used for allergies and to help it's like an antihistamine to help like your sniffly nose and if you that kind of thing, but it will knock you out if you take it was like 30 milliliters of that or whatever the dosaging it says on the thing. I'm just saying what I've taken Benadryl before. It makes you feel really groggy when you wake up in the morning, so it might actually make you sleep quite a bit more after that as well. But I mean, you can take melatonin. I don't really think melatonin helps for me. Also, melatonin is like a hormone that, like, if you take it too much, it can kind of throw off your normal body's production of melatonin within your own brain. I've talked about taking like zinc and magnesium. Some people suggest taking magnesium before bed because it helps to. It's like a, like there's this stuff I've talked about, ZMAs, zinc, magnesium, vitamin B6, that basically just has given me some pretty good sleep. But Benadryl is usually what is gonna like knock you out the fastest. But I'm sorry about your sunburn. Hopefully some aloe will help with that, but I know it can be difficult laying on it. Apple cider vinegar on the sunburn takes the heat out. Interesting. You might have to look into that a little bit. Once again, I'm not like a doctor or anything like that, but just do your own research. And Patrick Starr confirmed. However, the Chris Steiner case was a different story, and Joe pled not guilty. However, the Chris Steiner case was a different story, and Joe pled not guilty, though an exhumation of Steiner's body had revealed that the sustained injuries to his ankles that were identical. However, the Chris Steiner case was a different story, and Joe pled not guilty, though an exhumation of Steiner's body had revealed that the sustained injuries to his ankles were identical to those that Thad suffered. Sorry, there's so many fucking weird little things. Magnesium makes you sleep like a log. Yeah, it definitely helps. And you feel pretty rested when you wake up. Apple cider vinegar burns your skin. Yeah, I'm not really sure like what the combination for that is. But someone just mentioned it. How many stories left? We're almost done with this. This is the last story, actually. We've been going for 3 hours. 3 hours, 18 minutes. You have a medicated aloe gel that's working okay? Okay. Sorry about your sunburn. Sunburns fucking suck. That's why when I go to like anywhere sunny, like around my area, it's not very sunny at all. So like if I ever do get sun, I always just wear a hat, because getting sunburns on your face, neck or back or head is the absolute fucking worst. And then also like, getting sunburn on your face, like it's all like fucking gets all dry and flaky and just gross, and then obviously it can be very painful in your back and really your arms, all that kind of stuff. You take CBD to sleep? Nice. Yeah, CBD is pretty helpful. Anyone from the DMV, DC baby over here? The DMV? Any DMV workers? Yeah, like if you have some extra time to sleep, Benadryl is useful, but if you have to wake up for something, Benadryl will make you feel very groggy for the remainder of the day. But if you can completely sleep it off, usually pretty good. However, the Chris Steiner case was a different story, and Joe pled not guilty, though an exhumation of Steiner's body had revealed that the sustained injuries to his ankles were identical to those Thad suffered. Joe Clark's parents' testimony that their son was home asleep in his room on the night of the killing did not line up with other witnesses who claimed Clark regularly snuck out of the house via an upstairs window. So on November 7th of 1997, Joe Clark was found guilty of homicide, then sentenced to life in prison, plus 50 years. Yet he still remained... Did you just say extra time to sleep? Yeah, like a week, you know what I mean? Like you don't have work. You know what I mean? I don't know why that's confusing. Yet he still maintains his innocence in Chris Steiner's murder to this day. We can only conclude that a violent young man was confronted with what a monster he was, and simply couldn't handle it. And evidently, neither could his mother. But neither point matters, because the bottom line is that Joe Clark, the bone breaker, will likely die in prison in a peaceful, painless manner that he so cruelly robbed his victims of. You don't know what you mean? You work for NHS? Oh, yeah. Yeah, I don't know if you're working night shift or whatever. Yeah. Anti-Griswold, Clark the opposite. I'm getting tired. See you later, man. It was a good joke with the DN. Imagine Dragon. Nice night, Landon. Take care. Alright, well, I'm going to read the outro. Those are some pretty fucked up stories. Jesus Christ. Makes you think of the movie Antichrist with Defoe. Why is that? The coffee helps you be tired. Yeah, I think when it comes to ADHD, there's some correlation between like stimulants and your, dopamine receptors, where almost like having the caffeine sort of helps stabilize those and actually has the opposite effect, I guess, of the stimulant. Hence why they kind of give people, well, I'm not actually sure exactly what they're given for ADHD nowadays or what people might be receiving. Odd question, do you have a stomach ulcer? No, I don't think so. Why do you ask that question? Hey friends, thanks for listening. Click that notification bell to be alerted of all future narrations. If you got a story, be sure to submit them to my subreddit, r/Let'sReadOfficial, and give and receive feedback from the community, and maybe even hear your story featured on the next video. And join a live stream to catch an invite to my Discord. And if you want to support me even more, grab early access to all future narrations for just $1 a month on Patreon, and maybe even pick up some Let's Read merch on Spreadshirt. And check out the Let's Read podcast, where you can hear all these stories in long compilation form and save huge on data, located anywhere you listen to podcasts. Links in the bio. I'm just curious of Brandy's response, because it seems like a sort of... Is this like a psychic thing, or like a thing that you picked up on psychonetically? I shall wait patiently for her response. Caitlin, yeah, thanks for being here. Oh, she just said night, everyone. Okay. Shampoo, more like shampiss. He's here till next Thursday, ladies and gentlemen. You're welcome, Gabriella. Yeah, stop by the Discord and play some video games. I still want to know why I'm confused. Maybe she'll respond. Wait. Dude, I don't know. Sometimes that happens. It just popped in my head to ask. Well, I'll be honest with you guys. I did have a bit of a health issue recently. Where I woke up. So, like, I do powerlifting, right? And I mean, this isn't, like, too personal. It just is what it is, you know? But, like, I do powerlifting, and, you know, you lift a lot of heavy weights and stuff like that, and there's always, like, the potential threat for, like, a hernia. But even though, like, usually I try to keep, like, do good form, keep good, strong core, you know, build up over time kind of thing. But it was weird. I woke up the one morning after lifting. It was like an upper body day, but, you know, it's still, like, tension within that area, and I felt like in sort of like my lower abdomen a sensation of almost like something poking, you know what I mean? Like and I was like, and it was like very just like isolated, and I was like, oh fuck, do I have a fucking hernia, you know? So it actually got better as the days had gone, like after about 2 days, actually completely went away, but I still ended up going to get checked on and got an ultrasound, and it was negative, so that was good. So I was very thankful for that, because basically once a hernia occurs, you know, you basically need to have surgery to get like a mesh implant. You can't really like you can live with it, I guess, but it will over time probably get worse, and the only way to actually like fix it is surgery. But it wasn't painful. But yeah, the fact that you asked that, I don't know, it was just like random, and I was like, huh, maybe like a lower. I'm pregnant, yeah, maybe like a lower bowel. I don't know. I'm not like one for like psychical analysis or anything like that, but I'm a relatively like, I wouldn't say superstitious guy, but someone who's like open-minded to that kind of stuff. And then the fact that you would ask. Keep an eye on it, though. If you take meds, check them. Don't want to see that later on. Careful and happy with that. Thank you. All right, yeah. And then I was just thinking, oh, maybe it is like some sort of fucking lower gastric ulceration or something of that nature, you know what I mean? From either just like a bad gut biome that enables certain bacteria to burn through my protective layer, you know, the protective mucus or something. Does anyone like cats? I think everyone here likes cats. Joel has to twerk to prove he didn't get her. yeah, that's the only way. Maybe that's what led to it. I mean, supposedly I'm fine, so I'm just going to go back to lifting tomorrow, you know. They recalled a lot of mesh and stitch you up. They recalled a lot of mesh? That sucks. Joel impregnated himself, yeah. How do you join the Discord? Yeah, one of the mods can drop the link. You just need to fart. Well, that's what I was thinking. I was like, I had nachos the night prior to it, so my thought process was like, did I literally just feel like a sharp nacho fucking poking against my bowel, down in the lower aspect? I'll just assume it was fucking nachos, dude. I don't know what the fuck's going on with bodies, you know. It's all such a wacky mystery. I'll just say that. Thanks so much, friends. And remember, it's probably just a nacho. You had a hernia when you're 7. Yeah, like, hernias can develop for different reasons. Like, if you were 7 when you had it, it most likely was just that when you were developing in your mama's womb, there were certain aspects of the abdominal muscle area that didn't quite close all the way. And then just, because there's like, you have your fat on the outside of your body, right? And then you have your muscle. And then there's sometimes this stuff underneath the muscle called like visceral fat. that can develop. And then underneath that, it's like your gutty works. And, yeah. You know, it's, that kind of shit can, depending on the different pressures that might be added, whether you were bearing, you know, maybe as a kid you were bearing down too hard, like, and you don't have, like, that area is, like, closed, it could potentially, if you just imagine like a balloon, it's like, it goes to, like, the area of, like, least resistance and could potentially push some of your gutty works or, you know, visceral fat through that abdominal muscle. So, you know, do your planks. Do your planks every morning. Wake up, do some planks. Where you're, if you guys ever done the plank exercise for your abs, do side planks, normal planks. Fucking, we gotta get in those summer bodies, baby. We're gonna get tight. Toit like a toiger. Alright. Anyways, I'm gonna go twerk. I'm gonna go eat some nachos. Guys, thanks again for being here. Another fun stream. Hope to have this video edited up on Patreon first. Early access, only $1 over there if you want to come join. All my links, all my socials are down in the description below. You can follow me. Be kept up to date with everything. You also bypass notifications that, you know, hit that bell if you haven't already for new stuff. You know, join the Discord. You can chat with me live. You literally will. You literally, if you join my Discord and you join VC, you will eventually get to chat with me like a friend, and it'll be sweet. And I'm not trying to entice you to come join, because I'm just saying, like, I don't have any friends. I'm just kidding, but you get the idea. It's fun. We have a good time. We play video games. Played Rocket League the other night with a bunch of people, and I fucking dominated. So if you're good at that game, come fucking test your luck, bro. And yeah, good times. Gonna get this up on YouTube today at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And do you use a slingshot or a bench daddy? I don't know what that means. But yeah. Did I lose a nut? Yeah, it just fell right out. Buenos nachos. Yeah. Love you guys. See you soon. Beard scratchies. Oh yeah. You want to join a movie night? Yeah, we should do more movie nights. What was the last one we watched? It was like Chucky. Child's Play or something like that, or like Child's Play 2. But yeah, take care, guys. We'll see ya on the flippity floppity. Bonebreaker out.